Show me something.
Hello and welcome to the Show Me Something podcast. I'm Jacob.
I'm Will.
And I'm Trevor.
And today I showed the boys North by Northwest by Alfred Hitchcock. The iconic film, mainly known for the scene where the crop dusting pilot is trying to basically destroy the main character with a plane.
Right.
Yes.
It's like a classic shot.
Classic scene.
That one shot where you see him start to run away as the plane is approaching him.
Coming in on him. Yeah. It was a good shot, too.
So yeah, what did you guys think?
Will?
I enjoyed it very much. I would say it was a little bit long for my liking. I felt that a few of the scenes were a bit more dragged out than they needed to be. But with that said, wonderful set pieces, a great lead performance, a really good script overall, good intrigue. I'm thinking a solid 8 out of 10.
Right on. What about you, Trevor?
I really enjoyed it. I didn't think it was super long. I thought maybe I looked at the time stamp maybe once where I was like, man, a lot of stuff's happened so far. How far in? And it's like, oh man, we're only halfway through this movie. Jeez.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that happens.
Yeah.
But otherwise, no, I really enjoyed it. I'll also give it an 8 out of 10. I really had a good time with this film. It was not, I don't know, for some reason I was expecting it to be scarier or more.
Definitely not supposed to be a scary movie.
More intense. I don't know.
Thrilling?
Because I guess because of Hitchcock, and that was just my mindset going in. It was like, okay, this is going to be a real intense, nail-biting kind of situation. And it really wasn't. And I enjoyed it.
Did you find Rope to be that way?
Rope was definitely more of a scary, thrilling situation.
It wasn't scary.
No, it wasn't scary, but you know what I'm trying to get at, I hope.
Like a thriller.
Yeah, it's more thrilling.
Interesting.
Anything, at any moment it could go really wrong. And in this movie, it didn't feel like at any moment it could go really wrong.
I think every moment it did go wrong.
Yeah.
In this movie.
I guess, but not in the same way.
You didn't feel the same way.
Yeah, because in Rope, literally any moment could be the end of the movie.
I think that this one also had that with multiple false endings in it.
I guess I didn't
There were
feel
a bunch of false endings in this film.
I didn't feel it in this one.
I think that's one of the things that makes it seem long, is because of all the false endings and twists and turns, especially in the final scenes of the movie where people are revealed and things change.
It still doesn't feel the same as Rope, as in Rope was
definitely very different movies.
Any moment someone could find the body and the movie's over at that point. Yeah. Whereas in here, it's oh, we're it might be done. Oh, it's not done. Oh, it might be done. It's not done.
I mean, at any moment he could be caught by the police and the movie could be over.
Right.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be over because it's not going to be over at that point.
Yeah. I mean, you could say the same thing about the body and Rope. Anybody could find the body and then it might not be over.
But that is
right. It's the open-ended
Yeah, but to me it felt different. It felt different from that.
Yeah. No, I mean, I feel you.
Okay.
I'm just trying to play devil's advocate with it.
Why? Nice.
But yeah, I like this movie a lot. It's one of my favorite Hitchcock movies. I just think that all the set pieces in it and the performance is really fucking solid.
Yeah, the set pieces are crazy. I mean, it's almost it sets a precedent for the level of action movie set pieces that we see nowadays.
Yeah.
The things that I had in mind while watching it were the Mission Impossible films, especially the more recent ones. You have, I think it's Ghost Protocol, where Tom Cruise is climbing up the fucking Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world, which is in Dubai, right? He's
classic scene,
climbing up the outside of it, right? So the scenes that involve Mount Rushmore, speaking vaguely about it before we enter the spoiler zone.
Yeah.
And
I think so much so that Abby was telling me that she felt the ending where they were on that set piece felt cheesy.
Yeah.
Because
we're so used to it.
We're used to it now. To
where,
I agree. Over the top things are it's just it's already been done before. But
for that time, it was amazing.
At that time where they built this beautiful physical set and they had these actors doing this crazy, really physical.
It was
thing
very cool
in very formal wear.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome.
It's dope. So wait, what's your rating out of 10?
I think it's a 9.5 out of 10. I think it's pretty much perfect, except for that it's a little bit long.
So lower than Rope. Did you say Rope was 9?
I gave Rope a 9.
Okay.
In the heat of the moment, I gave it a 10 out of 10.
Interesting.
When we were talking about it, which will
yeah.
probably happen with this movie.
Yeah. So you say Rope 9 and this 9.5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Rope is a 9 and this is an 8.
That's fair.
The length.
This one is definitely more critically
give?
regarded than Rope is. Rope is a little bit lesser known than North by Northwest. North by Northwest is definitely a higher rated film. I mean, you can see even like on like IMDb and stuff, it's like easily in the top 250, and Rope is.
I wonder why that is.
I don't remember
I'm
what
not
I
really
gave.
sure.
I don't remember what I gave Rope, but I did like this
You
one
said
more.
8 out of 10 for Rope.
Did I?
think.
You said you
Yeah.
liked this one more?
Yeah,
Cool.
I like this one more.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, for a lot of those Hitchcock movies, I like them a real similar amount just because they're all so good.
Yeah.
I think having seen neither of these beforehand,
Yeah,
I enjoyed Rope more on surface level because I feel like I've seen a lot of this film before. And that isn't really fair to it because obviously it came before a lot of the movies that I've seen that are similar to this.
yeah,
But in terms of like the bottle episode, quote unquote, nature of Rope versus like the big set piece nature of North by Northwest, I feel like I've seen a lot of films that have emulated the set piece feature of it
for sure.
versus Rope. Like, I can't think of a lot of movies that have been in one place besides like 12 Angry Men, more or less. And that's not really a thriller. That's just a great film.
Yeah, you definitely usually have to like seek them out.
Right. So the direct comparisons to North by Northwest are more evident for me personally, which is why maybe I wasn't as wowed by it, but at the same time, like I really enjoyed it while I was watching it.
For sure.
I just thought it was a little bit long.
Yeah.
There are some parts I thought that could have been cut out.
Cool.
Whereas Rope, I didn't feel that at all.
Rope is very short.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
Rope is only an hour and 20 minutes. It's like a whole hour less than this movie.
Yeah. I mean, this film was long. It was long.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually watched it in 3 parts because I watched some of it before dinner one night, and then I watched some of it after dinner, and then I stopped and then went back to it after that and watched like the last 30 minutes. That's partially my own fault, of course.
Did you guys know anything about it going into it?
No, I knew nothing about it.
I only knew about the iconic scene, but I didn't actually know what the context.
It doesn't really. Yeah, it doesn't tell
Yeah,
you.
no,
No.
I knew about the plane, but I didn't know anything.
No,
about
I knew nothing.
Like, I feel like the main things people know about it is just like the cinematography.
Yeah, agreed.
Which is also great.
Yeah.
So,
Spoiler zone.
Yeah.
Cool. So, first, real quick, I just want to say a weird thing that I came across today in my own research for an episode we recorded earlier, Fleet Foxes. Their debut EP mimics the title screens of this film.
It totally
really?
does. That's wild.
Oh, yeah.
So the Fleet Foxes EP, the one that was used to be hard to find, but is now widely released under the Fleet Foxes collection. It is the cover of it is an immediate reference. I want to say, like,
Absolutely.
that's absolutely a reference to North by Northwest, right?
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
So the title screen of North by Northwest, where the titles show up on the windows of a office building in green and white.
Yeah, like the streaks come across the screen, and then we slowly fade into the actual office building look. But God, that was my first note on here. Is a
Beautiful.
really cool title sequence.
Beautiful
like,
title
I really
sequence.
liked the green and white stripes into the actual office building.
Yeah, Hitchcock was really fucking dope at that stuff.
Yeah.
Did you guys see him in the beginning?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's my second note. Is Hitchcock right at the beginning at the bus?
Yeah, one of the things too about watching it on Amazon is they have this feature called X-Ray,
Oh yeah. So
where
you can-
like for whatever reason, if you pause the film or if you actively look for the quote unquote X-ray portion, it'll show you like what actor is playing what character. It will also show you like trivia notes or goofs.
Oh, wow.
And so I happened to pause it during the credits to write that note about the Fleet Foxes cover, and it showed me Alfred Hitchcock credited as Man Who Misses Bus. So I was like,
does, yeah,
oh,
he gets
fuck.
it close
So
on his face.
then I was like, well, there's the cameo, right? Because obviously he's in every film that he's made, I think, right?
I think he's in
He
all.
has a
was-
cameo.
He
I
might
was,
have. There might be some that he missed, but
I was-
for the most
that's
part,
like his thing.
Yeah.
I was purposely looking for him in the title sequence because last time with Rope, we didn't see him, so we assumed he was in the title sequence somewhere. So I was like, all right, let's give it a look now, see if he's there. And then he happened to be. So it was...
Yeah,
this one was much more obvious.
See him.
Yeah, he misses the bus right at the beginning of the film.
Yeah,
he
Hitchcock is a very easily seen person.
Very,
he has such a distinct look.
Notable man, yes.
Especially his profile.
Did either of you see the trailer for this film?
Nope.
No.
Okay, I would recommend you both check it out after this. It's obviously too late for this now, but he apparently made a trailer for this film by himself. It's super fucking weird.
Is it that right there?
He's actually, yes. It's him talking about the film to the camera directly, and he shows a few scenes of the film in the trailer, and Riss and I watched it, and we were like, what the fuck is going on? And then we turned the movie on, and nothing in the trailer happens for the first hour of the film. It's a very odd thing. I know he was kind of known for making his own previews for films, I think.
I don't know. Maybe.
I think. So if I'm wrong, obviously I'll take the L on that. But I want to say he's more than one time he's made a trailer for his films. This was very strange. The tone was off, and awkward almost.
Yeah.
Anyway, interesting, but not regarding the movie at all. Just a quick note.
Yeah, no, I definitely will check it out. So this movie starts off with seeing a busy ad executive who is talking to his secretary or assistant or whatever her job
New York looks so claustrophobic and insane in these opening scenes.
Very claustrophobic.
Everyone's stealing
They show
cabs.
that even in the scene in the credit sequences before they show him. They show how crowded it is.
It looks awful.
Yeah. Everybody's in a business suit walking around. They've all got somewhere to be. But yeah, he is giving her some notes and things that she needs to do while he goes to meet these guys for a lunch.
And stuff to do tomorrow, too, because I think he was going to come
people to contact, things that need to be done, basically. And yeah, he goes to lunch, but first he does steal a cab, like you were saying, from this poor guy.
He's tells his secretary who didn't bring a coat to walk out with him to the hotel, I guess, that they were going, he's going to meet these people at. She's like, can we get a cab? And he's like, no. And she's like, I didn't bring a coat and I'm tired. And he's like, fine. So they get the cab and they steal it straight up. He's like, oh, she's sick.
He's like, you don't mind, do you? And he's like, well, I guess not.
I guess not. And he just gets in and goes. I don't know. It was funny, talking with his secretary about gotta call mother, make sure to remind her and all that fun stuff.
I think it definitely sets you up for the type of person that this guy is.
Yeah. And also not the first time he steals a cab in front of a line of people in the film.
Yeah. That's his favorite thing. That's his favorite hobby.
He likes ripping cabs.
But yeah, he goes to meet these guys at a dinner. They're all sat on the same side of the table.
Very odd.
Very strange.
3 men in a booth seat, and then he takes the one table seat.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those half table, half booth scenarios.
And all 3 guys have martinis already.
And he does ask for a telegraph because he realizes that he messed up in the timing of when his assistant should be contacting his mother.
Yes. Also, briefly, very early in this film, I think that it's Clark Gable, right?
Who, the main character?
Yeah.
Cary Grant.
Thornhill. Oh, Cary Grant. Sorry. Yeah. Thornhill. Roger Thornhill.
Yeah, I think it's Cary Grant.
It is.
Yeah, it's Cary Grant.
His sense of humor and his quippiness and wittiness is immediately apparent.
Oh yeah.
He's so fucking funny throughout this film.
He is, yeah.
And it's I don't know Hitchcock to be a writer of funny films or a director of funny films even.
Yeah.
But I laughed a lot throughout this film. And it started in that cab ride where he referred to lying as expedient exaggeration. Wrote that as a quote. And he also asked his secretary, do I look fat in this suit? And then says to himself, I look heavy-ish multiple times. And he said, think thin.
I mean, even in Rope, the female character, I forget what her name is now, but
Janet.
She was very funny.
She was pretty funny.
Yeah, Janet was good.
Yeah. She was the only comedic relief in that.
And she didn't appear much.
No.
Whereas this, Thornhill obviously is the main character.
Yeah. But it's similar stuff to where it's just very
quippy.
Quippy and smart little lines.
Yeah.
That they have.
No, I love his sarcasm all throughout this film.
He is hilarious throughout the entire film. And I think he says like, remind me, put a note on my desk for tomorrow morning that says think thin.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, think thin because he feels fat right now. Like, that was great. So that's obviously before they get to the restaurant. And my next note was, I wanted to go to the Oak Room. That fucking bar or restaurant looked so dope.
That they go to. Oh yeah, so cool.
Fucking beautiful. Dude.
It's really
so
cool.
cool.
Like, let me hang out there, please.
But also, the maitre d', whenever he first walks into that hotel restaurant or whatever, like walks up to his, like, he gets right there in his face.
Yeah, very close.
There's no personal space in that.
Yeah,
like,
that felt like he was not a very good actor.
Yeah.
Like, it seemed like
Could
he was
be.
very like waiting for a cue, hitting his mark, and like moving on.
Yeah, and I think
like, the way you see him approach.
Yeah, I think this might just be me. I don't want to put it on YouTube, but obviously, given the time that we're in right now with this whole COVID-19 thing, social distancing and like the whole like 6 feet rule being a thing, it was very prevalent to me throughout this film how close everyone got to each other.
Yeah.
But it was also a thing that I noticed in Rope before COVID-19 really blew up in the last few days. That like, I don't remember their names now, but Brandon and Philip.
yes.
Brandon and Philip always spoke very close to each other. Like,
True.
That was also
within-
because they were in the same apartment trying to keep secrets with
True.
other people.
Yeah, absolutely. But
Even this, they're trying to. I mean,
It's very
a lot
secretive.
in the film. They're trying to keep secret
Yeah.
and try to stay away from people.
there were a lot of very close moments in this film, and whether that's just an like a
I think it makes also things more dramatic.
yeah. So whether it's a byproduct
Like, you
of
don't
the time,
want a drama where people are standing 6 feet away from each other. Like, that doesn't make any sense to have that conversation.
yeah, no. I
To
guess
be
not.
fair, that's the only time I thought anyone was standing close was whenever that actor, like whenever the maitre d' walked up to his face. Otherwise, I didn't actually pick up. on
Okay,
that
yeah,
throughout
I
the
noticed it a
rest of
few
it.
times, but I think it's just because we're hypersensitive to that right now.
That could
given
be.
everything that's going on.
For me, it was just
for me.
I was just like, damn, he got really close.
Yeah.
Like, wow, you are like exchanging breath,
Up
like
in there.
straight
Yeah.
up.
And for me, I just thought he was a bad actor.
And that's fair.
It was just that one guy.
I thought it was going to be a recurring thing for a minute, and then it turns out it's really not.
No.
It's like super not.
But yeah, so he gets up to write a telegram.
Yeah. And for some
his
reason,
assistant. It's in the next room. He has to cross the lobby.
yeah,
Right.
but for some reason, that's what tips off. So there's two strange guys.
Well, they show them before this even happens. They
Yes.
show them when he sits down and is talking to the other people at the table.
And they point to him.
So I'm not 100% sure why they thought it was him.
That's pretty much the only detail of the film that I am unsure on.
But a lot of it, even towards the end, a lot of the stuff I'm unsure about and picked up just now this third time watching. Because
Really?
this is my third viewing of the film.
Okay.
And I picked up stuff at the end that I didn't remember
Interesting.
at the very, very end, which
Yeah.
we'll get to later.
This moment, like, as it happens, I wasn't really concerned about it, but in the immediate aftermath of what does happen, I found myself asking, like, how did they get to the assumption that this man is Kaplan?
But
Yeah.
I think it also adds to the confusion. You're supposed to feel the
Yeah.
confusion with the main character. Why is he the one being thought to of being Kaplan? Like, when he doesn't apparently look like him, he's not the same size as him, and he has nothing to do with any of these scenarios.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
that's why he's so confused. That's why we're confused in the beginning. Like, I feel like it's supposed to feel that way.
Yeah, I wish they would have given us something, like, because I was
Because
trying-
even the FBI agents are like, we don't even know why they've tailed him, but this is great for us.
yeah, this is good for us. Yeah, but like something, like maybe something he said to the guy that he was asking where the telegram booth is.
Yeah, and it's possible, but it wasn't explained, obviously.
No.
It wasn't there. I feel like there was not something, at least to me, that was like, oh, that's why they thought it was him.
Are these henchmen guys just dog shit at what
Yeah.
they do?
Did they
there
just
was
pick
no
someone?
light bulb moment.
It seems like they just picked someone at random. It's like, oh, that guy walked in and he's talking to some important suit-looking guys. It
Yeah.
must be him. It's like,
Yeah.
this is... There's a lot of people in suits in that bar.
Like,
everybody.
throughout the film, I kept asking myself, like, did I miss him identifying himself as a name that sounded like Kaplan?
Nope.
Or it's just like they say that's him.
yeah.
I mean, off rip, they like notice him and are looking at him.
It's
the
so
whole time.
weird.
I mean, my one of my thoughts later on was that, okay,
Maybe it was
One of
something
the-
that like
one
was
of the-
planted and they expected somebody to be there, like
To sit at that
like
spot.
a fake plant,
Yeah.
like where the FBI, because we find out later that the FBI is constantly moving this target around
Right.
in
Yeah.
different places to very specific times,
Right.
very specific locations. So it's possible that this was like an accidental
I
plant.
guess, yeah, but they never mention it.
No,
My
I'm
only-
speculating.
My first thought was that one of the two henchmen was the agent.
Interesting.
Pulling, like, moving far ahead, yeah, we find out there's a secret agent planted within this guy's thing or whatever. So I was like, okay, one of the henchmen's the agent, and he just decided, yep, that's him, as a way to keep himself covered.
Yeah, no, I definitely
Like,
understand
that was one of my thoughts later on, but then that's quickly disproven. So I still have no idea why.
yeah. So
That's one of the
then-
glaring plot holes, I feel like, is why he was identified.
yeah, definitely.
If not the only glaring plot hole.
I
So-
think it's the only thing that
The rest of the film is really intricate and
Yeah,
like
everything
well
weaves
paced.
together.
Yeah.
So yes, so they kidnap him at gunpoint, and he the whole time is making like these quips and like is like, what is going on?
He's so fucking funny. I mean, like, I'll keep saying it throughout the entire episode probably, but he's so funny in this moment.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
he's indignant, obviously, because he's like, this isn't me that you're talking about, but he has lots of little quips that are like now common quips in comedies. Like,
Yeah.
in the back seat, he says something, and of course I didn't write it down, so I can't say for sure.
Classic hashtag short notes from Will.
Classic, yeah, classic short notes. I write very shorthand when I take notes. He has a line in the car with them on the way to the mansion, to the Townsend home.
The one like, oh, not telling me where we're going, huh? Or something along those
Yeah,
lines.
yeah. It's just like it's a line that you've heard by now in every film where anyone is kidnapped,
Yeah.
like at all for the last 50 years.
And the back seat is very cramped.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's
It
like
couldn't
right in
be
the
more
middle.
cramped.
Yeah, it could not be
classic
more
Three
cramped.
grown men in like a small car. This
Yeah.
has to be that is not a full size sedan.
No,
I mean, for the time it might be.
Mid-sized sedan.
For the time it might be.
I don't know. But yeah, so they take him to the Townsend Manor. It's like a dope manor outside
By the way,
city.
he is very
Sweet man.
calm about this whole situation.
Well,
he's just
It feels
confused.
like he thinks, he's confused, and he thinks that he can talk his way out of it because clearly he's not the person they were supposed to capture.
True,
Yeah.
for sure.
So he
but-
knows that, like, once I talk to Mr. Townsend, I'll be able to explain it. Like, you
Yeah.
can see when they first talk, he's like, I'll show you my ID. This is
Right.
not me.
Yeah.
And it gets weaved further and further to where, like, of course you have a fake ID. They do a great job at that.
Yeah,
And he's
I
like,
love-
well,
He's
he's
like,
like,
well-
fuck me then.
I love how he continues to have these conversations at the Townsend home, like from the moment he gets in the house to when he's in that.
Mr. Townsend is great.
Amazing.
So
I
good
mean,
at
like,
just being like, you know exactly what game we're playing.
yeah, and Thornton's
like,
like,
I
what the
really have no
fuck
idea
are
what
you
game-
talking about? Like,
Yeah.
over and over, he's really good at. Cary Grant is really good at portraying how incredulous and like confused he is, but also like being angry and indignant about
And a
what's
very
happening to
confident
him.
man.
Yeah, super confident. I mean, that first scene with him and the secretary walking through Grand Central about like this and you do
As
this.
he's like making their way through like the biggest crowd
The
of people.
busiest crowd in New York City. I mean, it really sets the tone for how good he is at his job. And then you immediately take him out of that scenario into something he's entirely unfamiliar with. And how
He still owns it.
he still owns it to himself, but obviously isn't succeeding at all.
Right.
In terms of Van Damme, who's
Yeah.
the man
AKA Townsend.
Townsend, yeah. So
And this
he-
part of the movie, he's Townsend.
Yes.
Right.
So they bring him into the library of this manor, where he is not allowed out. He's in there with Leonard and Mr. Townsend.
Leonard
Is like his like secondhand man.
also like
He looks the most evil and pointy man I've ever
second
seen.
second to none in terms of like just pure physical menace.
You can
Yeah.
clearly tell he's a villain.
I honestly
Imagine
like,
being him in real life.
a
Where
lot
you
of
just look like a villain.
dude, so villainy, and like a lot
People
of
are into
times in the film, I thought that like this is the guy who acted as Jaws in the James Bond franchise.
Yes.
Like he's got a very similar
He could have been if he was bigger.
physical structure, right?
He does have a very Jaws vibe to him.
Yeah,
Of
he's
the
a
menacing
he's
henchman.
a bad dude. He's
Although
a bad
Jaws
dude.
is like the goat.
Jaws
Yeah.
is the goat. Yeah.
Jaws is absolutely.
Two awful James Bond movies,
What-
but great character.
What James Bond movies haven't you guys seen?
I've seen all of them.
I know you have.
I believe I've seen all of them. Maybe not one of the newer ones.
The fact that we
The
can't
only
talk
one
about
that
James Bond
the
on this
only
pod.
two that I haven't seen are the ones that aren't canon, the non-Eon films.
Yeah.
So the one where Connery came back, and then the original Casino Royale comedy.
The one where Connery comes back isn't bad, but
It's not Eon.
it's
Doesn't
not
count.
Eon. Yeah, that's a shame that we can't talk about James Bond on this podcast because I know Cobb and I fucking love James Bond.
Love
films.
James.
I
Bond.
love James
I
Bond.
can't wait for the new one.
And Trevor does too. Now
like James
I'm
Bond a
learning. I
lot.
didn't know
Yeah.
that.
No,
Despite how problematic they are now,
They're great films.
Classic
They're
films.
products of the time. Therefore, you must put yourself in the mindset to still just enjoy it.
there he
regardless.
is. There he is. Shout out Trevor.
Shout
out
Trevor,
fucking
dude.
No Time to Die. Cary Joji Fukunaga. Last Daniel Craig film. Cannot wait.
Can't wait to see who's next.
Got postponed because of fucking COVID. I hope it's Idris Elba.
That'd be dope.
That'd be cool.
But he's
also,
got COVID as
he
well.
tested positive for COVID. Yeah.
No symptoms.
Spooky. All right. Anyway.
No symptoms.
So we're at
No.
symptoms.
like
Tested positive, no symptoms.
Because he's rich.
so far. He's got
So-
that rich people.
Imagine if he never gets symptoms, and then we have a whole new thing. where
Now
it's
he's
like,
just spreading it though.
people don't know they have it and are spreading it.
Yeah.
Possibility.
Oh, that's terrifying.
All right. So we're at Townsend's house. So
By the
my
way, real quick, speaking of terrifying, this is a legit fear. Being misidentified, either arrested or kidnapped because you're misidentified and
think
no
so?
one believes you, that is a legitimate fear.
for you personally,
yeah, a little
I
bit.
think in this day and age, it's impossible to happen.
It's much less likely, but like I feel like back in, I don't know, like you get identified as the perpetrator of a crime, and there's no way to disprove yourself. It's like I was alone at home all
I
night.
mean, that does happen with people getting arrested, but it's not like you go through the court cases all the way through where they still don't know who you are.
Right.
but it's
and
still
we're also
it's still horrifying. And like in this case, he can't even go through a court system. It's like, nah, you're this guy, and he's like, I'm really not. I
Yeah.
can prove it. They're like, we don't believe you, and it's like, well, I guess I'm gonna die. So
yeah. I think
Yeah, so they think that his name is George Kaplan.
yes,
right. So that scene where Thornhill, aka Kaplan, meets Van Damme. The lighting in that scene when he comes into the room.
Oh, so good.
Very
What the
good.
fuck?
They close the
Amazing.
blinds. It goes very dark. Then he turns
Yeah.
on one light. You can't
Yeah.
see his face.
Fucking,
It's
he's
only
silhouetted
backlit.
against the lamp. Like,
And then he turns
so
on the
good.
second lamp, and it's back to a nice, like, warm lighting.
Fucking amazing.
Very good.
Yeah, that was a big note.
Very nice.
That scene was great.
Yeah, it was very good. And they basically, they're taking the scenario as Roger not cooperating.
Yeah.
But he's just like,
I don't know what you're talking about.
legit
how
has-
can I even help you if I don't know what's happening?
Right.
He legit has no fucking idea.
And he
what's going
does
on.
say, I won't cooperate.
Yeah, he does.
Because they
He says-
ask him, they're like, will you cooperate? And he's like, no, I'm not the person.
Yeah, I
He
don't know what
should,
you're
he
talking
should have
about.
kept
Which
saying.
fucks it up.
He probably should have said, "Yeah, totally," but I don't know what you're talking about, so I can't. But I would love to.
I
Yeah,
think
so
either
they-
way it wouldn't have worked for him.
No, both saying either of those things leads him to the same
For
destination.
sure, but I don't know. Maybe there was a small chance they would have been like, "Do we actually have the wrong guy?"
No. They
No.
believe
Like-
100%. There's no doubt in their mind
They're too spooky.
that this guy is not Kaplan. Like, there's literally no doubt.
So
in
they
their
have
mind,
this big-
Which we don't know why.
They have this big conversation, and then Van Damme, who we find out is his name, but again, it's the older.
Thornhill.
It's the antagonist.
it's Townsend.
Thornhill's antagonist, right? Townsend brings in his heavies, and I have a note. Why the fuck did his heavy carry a cigarette? Like, did you notice how he was holding a
really
cigarette?
weird.
So weird.
That guy seemed very Russian to me.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
darker haired
the
guy,
pointy faced guy.
not
I
the
mean,
one
that-
that we run back to a bunch of times throughout the film.
Not
but
Leonard, but the other henchman.
the
The henchman with the cigarette.
brown hair guy.
Yeah.
The guy with the light colored suit who
Pointy
throws the
face.
knife later.
Yes. No.
Oh,
There's two because
There's
the guy
two
the
henchmen.
guy who throws the knife is the guy who has a cigarette, and the light haired guy is one we see more often throughout the film.
I feel like we see the guy who throws the knife
We see
more
them both.
often.
We see both henchmen throughout
You
the
think
film.
so?
Yeah.
I feel like the guy who doesn't hold the cigarette like a weirdo is the one who's the more menacing figure throughout the film.
I think we're talking about the same person.
We might
or we're
be.
misunderstanding each other.
We might be.
But
anyway,
yeah. So
he holds a cigarette like a fucking nut job.
and they end up holding down Roger and forcing him to drink an entire bottle of liquor.
Dude,
Which might have killed him from alcohol poisoning.
Didn't though.
this shit was so funny.
Drunk driving like a
His
motherfucker.
fucking
He did a
faces,
great job.
His faces as he
So
drunk
good.
drives are unbelievable. I was laughing the entire time.
By the way, great way to kill somebody.
Yeah, fantastic. Just shove a whole bottle of bourbon down their fucking mouth
And then run 'em
put
off
them in
the
a
road.
car. Yeah. I mean, his like squinting
It's
and
definitely
blinking.
a great alibi.
Great alibi.
Yeah.
Like what could
He's
they even
behind the
have to
wheel
do?
of a
Yeah.
car.
They're not going to look into it more than he was a drunk driver.
No. That whole scene was great. Really great. Didn't expect him to make it as far as they did driving.
Yeah,
Like,
he made
I
it
expected
really
him to drive it off the cliff, not get arrested
But
by
they
a
did
policeman.
such a good job, like with the actual shots of the film to like from his POV,
Yeah.
where like the roads are fading into each other.
Yeah.
Where like it starts on one side and then it fades. He's all the way on the other side of the road.
Yeah, they were really good.
Really great
was really
transitions.
good.
I love that. Him
His drunk acting was pretty good.
was fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. So he drunkenly drives what seems like a pretty decent distance.
A long way.
A
'Cause it's
long
away
way
from the coast.
along a coastal road. Eventually ends up driving by a police car who pulls him over.
Did you see that slight speed up?
Yeah.
Film speed up
Yeah. Like a
of him running
2 times speed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They sped it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I guess he was going too slow.
Yeah.
And
It was
they,
like a very old
but it was
timey-
also a car crash that ended the car chase.
Right. So he drives into
Fender bender.
I think he stops.
He stops, the police drives into him, and then a third party
crashes
into
rear
into
ends the
cops.
cop.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my next note is so funny. Again, very vague, but the whole scene from the time he gets into the police station to the time he's released from police captivity, he is so on point in those scenes.
Yeah.
Like so quippy.
Yeah.
The phone call with his mother is hilarious.
His mom is the worst.
His mom is the worst. It's the fucking worst.
I got mad
don't like-
around this point.
she's,
Like,
the shit she says. Sorry, go ahead.
You too.
I was getting mad around this point in time because the whole drunk conversation, and then the next day, I was like, why does no one believe this man? We have given no reason. It's
His
not,
mom's like continually trying to incriminate him.
yeah. Like, we have been given no
Fuck her.
good reason.
You guys don't think he sounds insane though?
No,
No.
definitely sounds insane. But you think your own mom wouldn't try to help you
No,
out?
but that just
Like
makes
in
me
the
think.
court case, she's like, he's a fucking liar.
This just makes me think that he's had multiple issues in the past with drinking and lying.
I guess.
I mean, we've come to learn that he's been divorced twice.
yeah.
but
fair to
because
assume that those
he
have
says-
been-
But
he
we don't-
says because they think that his life was boring.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you just get out getting drunk and fucking around, that's boring.
But
And
like,
talking to his
I don't
mom
know.
on the phone.
At this point in time, we have been given almost no reason for the audience
That's true.
to believe that. Why would no one believe him? We haven't been given a boy cries wolf moment or anything where it's like, why the fuck does no one believe this man? What has he done?
His story is ridiculous. That's the thing.
It's not.
His story is absurd.
That he got kidnapped by some people and forcibly drunk.
Brought to a mansion, they
don't know.
forcibly poured a bottle
Yeah.
of bourbon down his throat, and then he stole a car.
Fine. It's ridiculous, but also this man has had no issues in the past that we know of.
But they believe him enough to have detectives help him.
They believe him enough to have detectives go, fuck this guy. No.
Well,
They
to-
go
to
fuck
good
this
reason.
guy once they get to the house and
They need
speak
to-
to the Mrs. Townsend, quote unquote.
Why didn't they
And
speak
she's
to the
like,
neighbors?
Roger, like, are you okay?
She
what
plays it
happened?
perfectly.
She plays
She
that
does.
shit so well.
She does, but still, you speak to the neighbors like, hey, what's going on? Because as soon as they spoke to a neighbor, they would have been like, oh, Mr. Townsend, Miss Townsend's been dead for a long time.
Which we find out later.
Yeah, and Mr. Townsend is not really around at the house anymore. So all the neighbors would be like, well, that's fucking weird. Why is there people there saying that they're the Townsends?
Yeah. But I mean, it makes
was a big
sense-
property.
It makes
Yeah.
sense also to where they just wouldn't need to do that because of how convincing
Right.
her performance
I don't
was.
think it does.
You don't think her performance was
Nowadays,
convincing?
it definitely wouldn't. I don't think it would slide. I think they still would follow up questions.
Yeah, but these
with other-
detectives are like, we go off hunches.
Fine. I don't know. To me, I find it ridiculous that they
Blood,
didn't
disgusting.
even...
Clean that up. Shout out John Mulaney.
John Mulaney in my animated bit that blew up. But anyways,
Wow, self-promo.
Self-promo.
Trevor Storch
Shameless
on
plug.
YouTube for John Mulaney Old Murder.
What's it called? Animatic or some shit like that?
Typography. Motion typography.
Same shit.
Anyways, I don't know. I found it kind of annoying.
And I have a note that Abby actually pointed out to me, which I didn't end up looking up. But the mom does not seem that much older than him.
Not at all.
No.
Like, she doesn't seem that old at all.
Thornhill Loki looks like one of the oldest people in the film.
Yeah.
Outside of, like, the professor.
Yeah.
And...
The professor definitely seems old.
Van Damme is
Eve
like...
is only like 26.
Yeah, Eve's very young for,
How old?
for Thornhill.
He's
How
older,
old's
man.
Thor?
He's been through 2 marriages.
Yeah.
Can I just real quick, when he's on the phone with his mother in the police office, the police station,
Yeah.
and he hangs up the phone and is like, "That was mother."
That
Dude,
was so good.
I left that entire conversation.
Yeah.
But at that point, like, I was just like, "This is fucking hilarious."
It was really good.
This is by far the funniest Hitchcock movie I've seen.
Which other ones have you seen?
Just Rear Window and Rope.
Oh wow, okay. You haven't seen Psycho?
I haven't seen Psycho.
You
We
haven't seen
talked
Strangers
about
on
this
a
last
Train?
time.
Did we?
Yeah, we did.
Damn, that was
That's my bad. That was a whole week ago.
a long time ago, my dude.
This was fucking funny.
So
It was funny.
Roger. Oh no, my next note is that she says just pay the $2. Is that the bail that's $2? Or is that his
is
fine?
that the cab fee?
What the fuck is the
Yeah,
$2?
I was so
I know,
confused.
that's
And they don't
wild.
explain it at all.
Just
she
pay the
says
$2.
that.
If
She
it-
says that and they just leave.
Like, if it legit is that, at that point, pay it and hope that those guys don't come back.
Pay it and go back to your job and try to act like nothing.
Live it-
Fucking dollars, while you're out here throwing 50s and 100s around the entire film. He bribes his mom.
Which is crazy
At
that
one
he has
point.
to
With a
bribe
50.
his
with
mom.
a 50.
How much is that in today's currency?
5,000?
I
5 million?
I think it's $5 million, my
What
dude.
time was this movie released?
Fucking
1922?
1732.
Okay.
This is a Renaissance painting, this film.
59.
Oh shit, this is 11 years after fucking Rope?
Did
he make something-
of a film?
Did he make something between Rope and this?
For sure, he made so many movies.
Wait, you're supposed to be the Hitchcock boy. Why don't
I don't
you
know the dates, but he's directed a lot of movies.
Fucking shameful.
Damn,
Yo, hey, podcast. Please shame Jacob in the comments for not knowing
The specific
the
dates
specific
of the
filmography
releases?
of his favorite director, Alfred Hitchcock.
He's not my favorite director.
Lies.
It's not.
Who's your favorite director?
Probably Quentin Tarantino.
Oh my God. $444.69.
That's a lot of money. That's $50.
That's very
50 bucks.
specific.
Inflation.
I'll give you $454.65, mother.
Also, great auction scenes. In this
Oh, the
film.
auction scene is great.
Yeah,
Okay.
very good. But
Wait.
yeah, that's the inflation calculator estimate.
That's crazy.
And yeah, so then Roger goes with his mother to the hotel, which is the part that we're talking about when he's bribing her
Yes.
to go to the front desk. But they go to break into Kaplan's room
Yes.
at this dope hotel,
Which is it's a really
to
cool
try
scene.
to find out more about him.
Yeah, they want to meet him, honestly, but he's like,
Everybody calls Roger Kaplan.
yeah.
Why wouldn't
worst.
they though? He's in his room.
He introduces himself as Kaplan.
He does
Multiple
to some of the
times.
people. Yeah.
Only like after the maid initially mistakes him because he's trying to go into his room.
Well, that's you, Mr. Kaplan.
To
Oh,
the
Mr. Kaplan.
valet,
Mr. Kaplan, please.
to the valet, he says Mr. Kaplan, and on the phone, he says Mr. Kaplan.
Kaplan here.
But does that happen before the maid scene?
She sees him straight away.
I feel like the maid is the first time he is like, oh,
Kaplan.
yeah, totally, I'm Kaplan. Yeah, sure.
He finds out that Kaplan has dandruff.
and is shorter than him.
Yep, he's much shorter, short arms and everything.
And man, they went really into detail about what
With
is
the
up
FBI agents.
with
Yeah.
like Kaplan's fake stuff, just like all of the fake details about him.
Real quick sidebar, filmography sidebar. 1948 Rope, 1949 Under Capricorn, 1950 Stage Fright, 1951 Strangers on a Train,
Great movie.
1953 I Confess, 1954 Dial M for Murder, also 1954 Rear Window, 1955 To Catch a Thief, also 1955 The Trouble with Harry, 1956 The Man Who Knew Too Much, also 1956 The Wrong Man, 1958 Vertigo, 1959 North by Northwest. What
bad.
the fuck?
How do you even direct that many movies?
Dude, this man made a shit fuck of movies that I've never even heard of. Are these all films?
Yeah.
Those are all films?
Yeah.
Have you seen all those?
I've only seen a couple of them.
I've seen...
And there are some that have been on my watch list for a long time.
I've seen Rear Window.
Dial M for Murder has been on my watch list for a long
I've seen
time.
Rear Window and Vertigo.
Which I think Kirk has seen. But,
What the fuck?
yeah, he's made a lot of movies, dude.
This is crazy.
Foreign Correspondence, a
Look
classic.
at this shit.
Yeah.
That's a ton of films that I was not aware that he made.
Yeah, dude, he was a busy man.
Why do I know so little about this man?
I don't know. I don't know where you've been.
Birds is his last like major film.
Yeah, I haven't seen Birds.
Psycho was 1960, the year after this film.
Great movie.
So Psycho was late Hitchcock.
That's fair.
That's fucking wild.
It's a good one.
That's wild to me. All right, I'm sorry. That's a big tangent, but I'm blown by that. I need to watch Dial M for Murder, and I need to watch Memories of Murder by Bong Joon-ho. Shout out episode 1.
Nice. Yeah. So then he goes to the UN.
So many good shots of the UN.
Yeah.
I mean, primarily.
So actually before this, I forgot to mention, he escapes the henchmen who are in the lobby and then head up in the elevator at the same time as he's trying to head down.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then his mom makes a comment in the elevator and she's like, "Are you really trying to murder my son?" And it
That
goes
laughter?
from dead silent to everybody laughing.
That shit was
and
so
you could
crazy.
see her face go from uncomfortable to, I guess I have to laugh now too.
Yeah.
It was a creepy scene, kind of.
That
It was
great.
really creepy.
It was funny as hell. Because they start laughing in response to her asking that question. And then the laughter spreads throughout the unbelievably packed elevator. Mm-hmm. It was like 15 or 20 people in the elevator.
Yeah, definitely over the limit.
Way over the limit. And then his mother starts laughing. And then as the doors open, he says, "Oh, gentlemen, ladies first." And he lets all the women out of the elevator first and then runs after the women as they leave.
Yeah.
And that's how he's able to escape.
Well, he is guiding all the women
Yeah,
out.
he's
so
ahead of them.
He's actually the first one out of the elevator.
Yeah. And then he gets into a cab and tells the cab to just drive, which is classic. But yeah, then he ends up at the UN, what were you saying about the shots? I mean, the shot leaving the UN is insane.
That's
It's
the one
crazy.
I was
It's like
thinking
a
about.
drawing.
So I wanted to
it's definitely not
it can't be
practically done.
Yeah,
it's
it
not.
can't be.
It's not.
No.
It
because
looks
that's
like a painting.
it's like insane.
It's really cool though.
It's fucking incredible.
It's like bird's eye view, where the right side of the screen is the UN building, and then most of the frame is like
the courtyard driveway.
and you see him running out of it.
Yeah.
After this huge event happens at the UN, so he goes there to try to meet Mr. Townsend, because we find out earlier from when the detectives were talking to Mrs. Townsend that he's not here, obviously. No, he's speaking at the UN. And that's the moment where they're like, well, we don't need to ask any more questions. He's clearly a credible person who wouldn't try to kidnap someone.
Which...
He's with the General Assembly. So he goes there to talk to Mr. Townsend, and he...
introduces himself as Kaplan here.
Yes, he does. Well, because he knows that that's the only way to get to Townsend.
Who he thinks is Townsend.
Yes, to who he thinks is Townsend.
Which is crazy that actual Townsend just takes that message. He's like, yeah, sure, I'll meet this guy I've never met before.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that is kind of weird. But he comes out, different guy.
Very different.
Not the Townsend from before.
No.
So we can see here that there are a lot of layers to this thing that's happening that we don't know about. And then one of the henchmen comes in, and like you were saying earlier, he's the guy that throws the knife.
Yeah,
which is like a perfectly orchestrated moment. It's ridiculous. So he throws the knife, this switchblade at this guy, and it goes right into Mr. Townsend's back.
Right in his spine.
And it's perfectly to where Roger sees this, grabs the knife to try to help ease him down because he sees him falling, and realizes he has a knife in his hand. A guy immediately takes a photo because there's a journalist there because it's the UN.
Right.
And everybody starts freaking out that man stabbed him.
Yeah.
It's no, wait.
But it's the perfect scene. You see the photo in the newspaper later where he's holding the knife in the air and he's shocked.
Yeah.
He definitely should not have touched the knife.
It's the perfect framing.
It's a really good framing.
You could not frame someone better.
For sure. But
how
also,
are you supposed to say it wasn't you?
He should have just not touched the knife. He should have been like, oh my God.
I don't think you would really think about all that stuff when all this is happening.
Yeah, I guess so, but I don't think I would have touched the knife. I don't know. Maybe
He
I would.
pulls it right out. I mean, you shouldn't pull it out.
No,
right?
don't pull it out.
Well, he pulls it out.
Don't pull out an object like that.
And he runs away, and we see that great shot.
But like he's like so close to figuring out everything. Like the moment, all he had to do was talk to Mr. Townsend just a little bit more, and everything would have.
Yeah, he was close to figuring out.
It
stuff.
all would have been solved.
This is also after the scene is where we see the first introduction of the FBI agents.
Yes.
That
That scene was crazy.
It was a good scene.
Are they actually FBI?
Yeah, because I originally thought they were CIA, and then he says that they're FBI later on in the movie. So I went back and crossed it out. Yeah,
Whenever like
the professor talks about FBI, because then they ask him about him, and then he says FBI, CIA, doesn't matter.
We're all part of the alphabet.
Yeah, he says it. Yeah, the alphabet soup. He says that line after he mentions that they're FBI.
Okay, I could have swore he never actually gave a clear answer what branch of the government they were a part of as part of the movie.
He only ever does it once.
Okay.
But yeah,
so
they are having their conversation, and one of the people in the boardroom conversation is talking about, like, we can't just let this guy get his life fucked up.
Like, they know exactly what happened.
And the professor is like, well, unfortunately, we're not going to do anything unless shit really hits the fan. And they're like, has shit not hit the fan yet?
He's like, nope, this is perfect, actually.
He's like, this is classic.
We love this. We couldn't have planned this better.
Because it keeps their agent safe.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Which is the only thing that's important.
It's the only thing that's important to them.
We don't know who the agent is.
Who is this mysterious agent?
I thought...
Who did
the
you
moment
think it was?
the moment they said that, I thought it was the guy that threw the knife.
You thought?
I really did.
So you thought it was a planned assassination?
No, I thought at that point
He
he panicked and was like, I guess I got to do something, and then did that.
No. You think a U.S. government agent would assassinate a UN member just because he panicked?
For the Cold War? For the Cold War, yes.
This is Cold War involved. Yeah, so then it goes to the scene where he is at the train station, and he's trying to blend in. His face is all over the papers, the New York Times.
So he puts classic Clark Kent style.
He just puts on glasses. That's what I wrote down. He puts on shades as a freaking disguise.
Fucking Superman right here. Like
dope shades, though.
Sweet shades.
Really dope shades. I gotta appreciate the shade.
Also, I'm pretty sure you're able to like blend in Grand Central. That fucking train station is insane.
for sure.
Well, there is there's like police officers all around, and his pictures everywhere.
Even then, like as someone who has walked through that station like on a daily basis, it's insane. It's an insane train station.
What about in 1959?
It looked as busy as it was when I used to work there, like work through it.
It did look super busy. But to be fair, he was only recognized once he was one-on-one
Up
with
to
someone.
the
Because before that, when he was walking to the crowd, he wasn't.
No.
And there was cops that he passed by.
True.
But yeah, so he goes to try to buy a ticket because he's trying to get the fuck out of Dodge.
He's like, I need a bedroom ticket, which, like, I get why he wants the bedroom, but also...
Yeah, because he wants to just lock himself in it.
Yeah, and so no, but like the I feel like that's still making yourself more noticeable.
I don't think so. I think that if he wasn't anybody, they thought this guy just wants to be comfortable. Because, like, would you rather, if money was no option, would you rather have a bedroom or sit and coach?
Oh, absolutely a bedroom.
Exactly.
But the fact that, like, we
and
see...
for an ad executive on Madison Avenue, money is no object.
Yeah, but we see...
He's doling out $50 bills to his mom.
But we see the steward guy later on come in and, like, to set the bed up.
Yeah.
Or whatever, so it's like that's a one-on-one interaction you don't want to have.
That's fair. But you could have gone in the bathroom or just put your shades on and fucking read a paper or something.
Yeah, I guess so. Just like sat in the toilet and been like, I'm not feeling good. But
I'm in the bathroom. Come in. You know, classic.
I guess he could have done that. Yeah.
Classic 50s voice.
Thank you. Yeah. So he essentially runs away from this guy because the ticket counter guy figures out who he is. Yeah, he has a picture right by his counter to be able to identify this person because they're trying to find him. And he goes over to the phone to ask if they have any of these cabin tickets left.
Yes.
And that is where Roger makes his move. He gets the fuck out of Dodge.
He realizes
he's like, this guy's not making the fucking call.
No, this guy fucking knows for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you see him as he walks away. He looks at a picture that's on his desk of Thornhill.
Yeah.
And then makes the call to the police, essentially. He's at ticket station 51, I think
Yeah,
he
hurry.
says.
And then he turns around. Mister, you're just in time.
He's
Sorry, I
gone.
won't do any more than 15
No,
seconds.
keep doing it. I miss you did that voice like once in college for a video,
see?
and you don't do it anymore. And I miss that voice. It's a good voice.
Yeah, so then he breaks into the train. Basically, he runs onto the train past the second ticket guy who's supposed to take your ticket to get onto the platform. And
Yes.
he hides in a cabin as he bumps into this
Gorgeous woman.
this gorgeous blonde lady
Yes.
who we
Eva
find out
Marie
is named
Saint.
Eve. Eve Kendall.
And
And-
she's Eva Marie Saint is the actress.
Yeah.
And
She's
she
great.
just helps him, which we know later why, but at the moment I'm like, why the fuck?
Because he has a nice face.
Yeah.
That's what she says.
She
Yeah.
looks Bad Boys.
Yeah, and
does.
and essentially she's just trying to have like a fling on a train is what it kind of seems like before you get deeper into it.
I don't know. To me, I was like, he should not be trusting her like at all.
I mean, he does though, because she seduced him. Like, I feel like if you're just getting seduced, you're not thinking about anything else other than being seduced.
Yeah,
Coming
I guess.
from a man.
You know what? Yeah, you're right.
You know?
Fuck, if someone came up to me and was like, "Yeah, I'll help you," and like they were hot, I'd be like, "Yeah, cool."
I'll help you and I'll bang you because we're gonna stay the night in the same cabin. Would you
It's
say?
all
Would you say,
super
"Get out of my
weird."
face, spooky"?
It's all super weird.
You might be a murderer, but I'll still bang you. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure.
Also, it's the only way that he can hide.
Yeah, true.
So he's got to take his shot where he's
She's
got
the
it.
only one that he knows of that actually knows who he is.
Yeah. So they have dinner together and they have this conversation
Yes.
where she's seducing him the whole time. You what's up?
During this scene, the train goes through my hometown of
Does it
Irvington,
really?
New York. Those buildings they show out the window are Bridge Street of Irvington, New York. There's a bridge in the back. That's the Tappan Zee Bridge.
That's crazy.
This is the Hudson River line. I rode this train line to Manhattan.
Did you have a cabin?
No. Fuck. I rode the Metro North line to work 3 days a week.
You didn't have a cabin room to go to work? I'm gonna take a quick nap.
From early 2014 to late 2015, as I lived at home after college before moving down to Florida. These were like actual buildings that I've worked in that I saw throughout the train. I was like, holy fuck.
That's a hell of a detail.
that's
especially
Irvington.
for him making a movie in a single year.
Yeah, that whole,
True.
like, obviously that train is a soundstage or whatever.
Yeah.
But the film going through, like going by the Hudson River, that's all real. Because it was chronological too. Like, as they passed
awesome.
through Irvington, it went to Tarrytown and then got closer and closer to the Tappan Zee Bridge, which is in the middle of Tarrytown. And they passed the Tappan Zee and went up throughout the northern Hudson River. Anyway, I geeked out because I was like, holy fuck.
Were
I-
you like freaking out, like
yeah,
dabbing on Marissa
absolutely
when you
I
watched
was. I
it?
was like, Rich, it's Irvington. And I worked in those buildings as a summer job for a while. So that was fucking cool.
That's dope.
It's crazy to think those buildings existed at this time, like obviously 50 years before I ever even lived there. But
It's like when you randomly watch a movie that was filmed in Florida for some reason. You're like, holy fuck, I know where
yeah,
that
I
is.
know exactly where that is.
Yeah, exactly. The show The Leftovers was also filmed in Irvington and Dobbs Ferry, which is the town right next to it. So I had the same feeling, but had no idea like Hitchcock films were shooting Irvington like 50
Yeah,
years before
they were
I
accurate.
ever lived there. Yeah. So anyway, shout out Irvington,
Hell yeah,
hometown,
shout it
born
out.
and raised.
Yeah, so they have their little dinner, and the train stops, and two detectives get on.
Spooky.
And he's like this whole time, like, are you still like? Because the whole time they're very obvious about like we're gonna bone.
Yeah, they're very forward.
They're
about it.
very
Super.
forward, which I appreciate. I appreciate a very forward moment.
It's
like that.
incredibly forward about how they're just gonna fuck.
What? Mm-hmm. Why are you looking at me like that?
Will was just giving Trevor a spooky eye.
I appreciate the forwardness of the whole conversation, but then the moment she's like, "You should go," he's like, "Oh, like all right." And she's like, "No, cops are here." And he's like, "Oh, fuck, all
He's
right."
trying
Yeah, that
to
was
finish
fun.
his freaking fish dinner.
Yeah, which I thought was going to be laced with something.
Which she ordered for him.
Yeah, she recommended it. She said it was good, and then he wrote it on the little paper and handed it to the
Oh,
guy.
I missed that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I honestly thought it was going to be laced with something though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because she recommended it and he immediately ordered it, and like she had apparently already bribed the waiter to make sure that he got sat with her.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, something's gonna be up with this fish.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't, so
Yeah.
I was wrong. But
But it was a good conversation between the two of them.
very good.
I really like her character a lot.
She's
I feel like
great.
her character has like a lot of depth.
It's a very cool
Yeah.
character.
Yeah, so then they head off to her cabin. And that is where she hides him in the top bunk.
Yeah, that was great.
Like,
Again,
folded
super
away.
quippy. Yeah, like
Yeah, he's like talking about how he can't breathe and shit, and she's like, "Shut up."
Shut up. Detectives show up and like, ma'am, have you seen the man that you were at dinner with? And she's like, nah.
She does a great job at playing it off like oblivious. Like, I've
She
never
does.
heard of any of this.
yeah, the scenes up until that point.
But also,
Did
you
a-
can tell the actress is acting.
Yeah,
Yes.
you can, but
She
they
does
do.
they do a good job at that.
They do a great job of disguising her intent, I think,
Yes.
right?
Definitely. I mean, her intent, this
It's
whole
like,
train ride is
what,
disguised.
Like, what the fuck? Like, she just
I
want
was
to
surprised.
fuck? Like, it was a very, like, non-50s motive at that point. Like, what is her deal?
Yeah, it was not
You know,
old
because
school. This was
that's a very not old school thing
No.
for her to just
So-
want to fuck.
For me, the fact that it was old school was the thing that made me not think. Like, I was like, she's got something else going on, but
Yeah,
man. You imagine being the ratings board.
they must
Yeah.
have been
Back
so
then,
confused.
They must have been livid.
until we find
Frivolous
out.
sex.
But like, I was
One
like,
night stands on a train.
I was like, damn, okay, there's I guess there's something, but also I'm like so used to nowadays ever on it. Like, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like thinking of the time period, I was like, she is just into him. Part of my brain was like, nah, they're not gonna make, like, for the time period, why would they make her like her own character? She's just super into him and helping
Right.
him for no
Yeah,
reason.
no, I get that. Like,
So-
just the love interest
the,
type deal.
the generic love interest. I even wrote that down when she's first
a la Bond
introduced.
films, like we were talking about before.
Straight up, like when she was first introduced, I think my note is incoming love interest.
Yeah.
So I was that
Although
was
now usually they have more depth, but back in the day, Bond films.
exactly. So that was one of my things. I was like, man, there's. I guess she just really likes the way he looks and wants to fuck.
Yeah.
So
Shout out Christmas Jones.
she's gonna help him
Yes.
for no reason, and so I just let that slide a little bit in my mind. So I was actually surprised whenever later on after they do bone, or just before they bone, the note gets passed down
Yeah.
to Mr. Van Damme.
Yes, this is as they're making out,
Yes,
and
the
he hides again in the
attendant
bathroom.
shows up.
Yeah, he hides in the bathroom. The makeout is so weird.
It's a very odd make.
It's
Super
like-
weird.
Yeah, so then they are at the station and he dresses up as one of the red caps.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, that is a person who is helping with the luggage, getting off the train and helping people
Yes.
off to their cabs or whatever. So he is in a disguise and the detectives come back up to her and they're like, "Did you see or hear anything?" And she's like, "About what?" She's like, definitely oblivious again.
Yeah, she plays that shit so well, man. Like that whole scene was
And
really
they're like,
really
"Well, have a
good.
good day, ma'am." And they peace out and then she keeps going.
Catches back up with him because he kept going so they wouldn't notice.
Yes, very expertly done.
And then
He goes
Almost
to the
like
bathroom
he's a
and shaves
professional.
with a tiny razor. The tiny little razor.
I assume that was
What was the deal with that razor?
I assume that was supposed to be either her
Yeah, Abby thought it was a women's razor.
leg razor,
vagina razor?
or vagina razor.
A leg razor.
It was a woman.
That's a very like your legs are bigger than that, dude.
Yeah, for sure. But like, I guess back then they were like, no, a woman, they need a petite thing. I assume that's the deal that they were thinking in the 50s and 60s.
I
Like,
saw that razor. Marissa, we were watching it,
Can't
and she
believe
was
you
like,
said that.
she
a
was,
vagina razor.
she was like, why is that fucking razor so small? And I was like, I don't know.
It's the tiniest razor on earth.
But the joke, I mean, the joke that they make when he's in the bathroom shaving with it, and the guy looks at him like, what the fuck?
Yeah, because the
are
other
you
guy's shaving with a straight
There's a guy,
razor.
yeah, shaving with a regular razor.
Well, straight, yeah, like a manly
razor.
straight.
And looks
razor.
at him making these little, like, pencil eraser line strips of
Really fast, too. Did you see how fast
yeah,
he's wicking it on his neck?
ripping it through
He's
that.
going to have cuts all over
and,
his
like,
neck.
Why was he shaving though? He
That
didn't
has to
seem
be
like
a
he
joke.
had that much facial hair.
Because
going
it was
on.
back in the day. Everybody
5
wanted to be
o'clock
clean
shadow,
shaven.
Trevor?
So
Everybody wanted to be clean shaven.
Can't have a 5 o'clock shadow.
Not everybody has a baby face like you, my dude.
I don't have a baby face. You are the most baby faced person I think I
I have a
know.
full beard.
When you don't have the beard.
Yeah, but that doesn't have anything to... I'm talking about beard growth.
Oh yeah. Well, I shave all the time.
Fucking dummy.
How often do you shave?
Me?
Yeah.
Once a week.
Your neck or your whole face?
My whole face.
Cobb, how often do you shave your neck?
How often should I shave it?
No, how often do you shave it?
Do I shave it? Probably like every 3 days. I should shave it like every 2 days.
You shave this down here every 3 days?
Yeah, this grows really fast.
That's fucking impressive. I shave my neck. For the record, Jacob and I both have beards.
My beard's pretty long right
Active
now.
beards. I shave the neck portion of my beard once a week.
Yeah, no, I don't do that. I can't do that. It'll be too long.
Interesting.
My beard grows fast. My
Kid's
dudes.
got thick hair.
I like to let my facial hair grow out a little bit and then shave it off.
What facial hair?
You don't have any, dude.
I just shaved like a day ago.
Let's get him, dude.
Show me. Run it for a month and show me.
You don't want to see it.
It looks bad.
I do want to see
No.
it.
I've got pics.
It looks bad.
You got
We'll
pics?
throw a pic up on the soch.
All right, cool. We'll put it on Instagram.
I don't look good with facial hair.
I don't believe
You
you.
look great, Trevor.
I need to try and
Don't-
grow.
You're a handsome man, Trevor. I don't think you cannot
Don't
look
attack
good.
yourself. You see the look you have right now? Dope ripped jeans with some freaking Hawaiian shirt. You look like you're ready
You look
for
like
Hawaii
fucking
5-0.
Miami Vice. Oh,
There we go.
Shout out 2 different shows.
shout out Max Payne 3.
There you go.
Hell yeah.
But for real, grow a beard.
I'm good. I've tried. The mustache looks really bad. I guess I could try and just shave off the mustache.
Grow the whole thing.
But I don't know. Maybe.
All right, whatever.
Anyways, moving on. He does
Red hats.
He puts the clothes back on, and then the red cap comes out like he'd been beaten up,
Yeah, wearing some great long johns.
wearing some long johns. Like, oh, he took my outfit. But then he has money, so I don't know who bribed him. Because if Thornhill, our main character, bribed him, then why did he come out and say, "Oh, I got beat up" or whatever? Like, why did he come out in the first place? So I have to assume that Van Damme bribed him more, maybe, to come out and admit that he got. But why would Van Damme do that? Because he wants to capture him. He doesn't want him caught by the cops.
Right.
So the fact that the guy came out at all is just kind of odd to me. Like, why wouldn't he stay hidden in the bathroom for like at least an hour?
That's a long time to be in a bathroom.
Yeah, but you got paid a bunch of money to pretend like you got beat up and your clothes stolen. And then he also pointed in the correct direction to find the guy. Like, he got bribed. Why are you doing that?
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so Eve goes to make a call for Roger, to be able to find out where this Kaplan guy is and where he needs to meet up with him to try to figure out the situation. And this is where I think I can start to tell that Eve is feeling bad. Eve feels bad for what she's doing.
100%.
Which is before you even see that she did anything wrong.
Right.
But you can see on her face her mood is starting to change and she doesn't like what's happening.
By the way, can you talk payphone to payphone like that?
What do you mean?
Because she's talking.
She's talking to Leonard like 3 payphones apart.
Oh.
Can you
yeah,
do
yeah.
that?
Can you?
Probably. You can
Dial
probably call
internal?
a payphone.
Can you?
Yeah.
Did we?
All the payphones would have numbers, I would assume. I mean, Will, you're a boomer.
Yeah, you're old as shit. What's up?
Will, you
I had a fucking
when you were in New
brick
York,
phone.
you can't tell me you didn't use a payphone.
I've never used a payphone in my life.
Damn. Never mind.
I've had a cell phone since I was 11. So
I used to play with the payphones that I saw sometimes outside pizza places.
did we talk about?
That's a very specific scenario.
Oh fuck! I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
No, you're okay.
But I was confused at that because I was thinking of the fake scenario where Kaplan, in quotes, was still at the hotel. So I was like, what do you mean payphone to payphone is payphone to hotel?
No, it was payphone to payphone
Yeah,
whenever they're
the
in the
actual
train
scenario.
station. Yeah.
Did we talk about the fact that George Kaplan's not a real person?
We alluded to it.
So
So yeah, we find out what the FBI guys.
we're jumping back, but I feel like we didn't touch on
He's a
it. So
fake agent. A
so
plant,
yeah, he's not a real person. He's just like a name on a ledger, basically.
which they did a goddamn good job.
Yeah,
Fucking
they did.
amazing. Like they put his order for his dry cleaning in. They say like he needs specific like
Alterations and stuff.
yeah.
He has dandruff because they
That's
like
what it is.
they literally
The
have like
dandruff
the little
shampoo.
anti-dandruff like
Yeah.
kit in his
Yeah.
bathroom, like everything. They make it so intricate that
Yeah.
this guy exists when he doesn't at all.
Yeah.
which is cool.
And that was the point we alluded to before, because you
Yes.
said like they did a great job after I said he had dandruff.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. That was just I missed that, and
No.
I feel that's a great point.
I don't think we actually ever explicitly said so.
Not in
but,
depth. No.
Not a real man.
But also,
Um,
I hope that you're not listening to this without having watched the movie, audience.
No, you're in the
Agree.
spoiler zone. Goddamn it.
Yeah.
Goddamn spoilies.
Yeah, so then the famous crop dusting scene comes up after he makes his farewell with Eve, where she basically is just like, you gotta go, you gotta go, you gotta go. There's police coming, you gotta go.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
fucking
Like
throws him
again
off.
and again and again. He's like, I want to meet up with you again. He's like, you're dope.
Let me get them digits.
Yeah, basically.
Also, the fact that the cops that came into the bathroom never saw him while he was shaving is kind of wild.
But to be fair, he had shaving cream up fucking high on his face.
So-
Like, it was to his eyeballs.
It was like right up high. Like
I guess,
you
but I
can.
don't
That is a
know.
good disguise. Like you just see two dudes shaving, and the guy doesn't react to you coming in.
Yeah, you're not gonna look.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Like it's I think especially
also-
because he played it off well.
And they're looking for red cap specifically, which he
true.
was not.
They're looking for a red cap.
Yeah. You know what? Fair. Yeah.
And this guy's just in a wife beater, like hanging out with this other dude.
Yeah, with a little
Shaving
fucking
with a woman's razor.
women's vagina
apparently.
razor.
Abby's not gonna be able to cut it out. Yeah. So the crop dusting scene happens because she tells him that he needs to meet up at this specific like prairie
Bus
stop.
stop? Yeah.
I wrote prairie stop because I think she says prairie stop, but
I feel
That
like that's
shit-
I thought that was the name of the stop.
yeah, that's what I'm
That
saying.
shit is in the middle of goddamn nowhere.
It's just a bunch.
Why
of
is there a
cornfields.
bus stop there?
There's
Same
a road.
question Abby had. She
There's
was
a
like, "Why
road
is there a
there.
bus-"
So
There's a road that goes to the left.
I don't think there should be a bus stop there.
Why not? Maybe there's like a whole village to the left we don't know about.
I doubt that.
There's
highly.
definitely a dope farm.
Dope farm. That shot, amazing. Like, once again, I mentioned the set pieces earlier in this episode.
This set piece is like
And it's an all-timer.
it's set up so well.
Yeah.
Like the very first shot you see of him getting off is like if you didn't know anything about this movie, it would be even better. Like if you had
Yeah.
never seen that shot before, because it just starts off with him noticing a crop duster,
Yeah.
and then him looking around at each side of the field.
And that
he
crop
sees
duster-
cars coming. None of them are the person he's looking
The
for.
crop duster flies by like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
Before
Multiple
it-
times, and like background shots.
Yeah.
And then the guy that ends up getting dropped off on the other side of the street, who
I
he
love
talks to.
that.
He points out the
Dude.
fact that he's crop dusting when
He's
there's
a-
no crops.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
like, that's weird.
And you don't even think anything of it.
No.
I mean,
Because why would you?
I mean,
you're a farm boy, Trevor, so you would.
Well, also
And
because
me,
of the,
because
the,
I've
the
seen-
screenshots of the scene.
Yeah.
Like,
all right, well,
the
you
moment
guys
he
cheated.
the moment he gets off the bus,
It's
I'm like,
literally on the cover art.
yeah,
Like,
like the moment he gets off of the bus, I'm like, there's the iconic scene. It's coming. It's here in the next couple minutes. Like,
yeah.
it actually took longer for the iconic scene to show up than I expected.
Well, yeah, it that scene has a really big build up. Like
Yes.
all of these different quiet shots of him seeing the cars, him seeing the
Yeah.
crop duster, him looking around trying to figure out why the fuck
And
he's
I
at
think-
to stop.
That's part of the reason I feel like the movie is as long as it is, because Hitchcock really takes his time in establishing tension.
I think it's important.
in
though.
every set piece. I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you at
Like
all.
I actually think the film is paced very well. I
paced-
agree that it's a little bit long, but I think it's paced extremely
It's
well.
paced very well. I won't argue with that. I'm surprised at how long it was for the time that it was made in.
True.
That's
because
fair.
films at that time were not 2+ hours.
Well,
Generally speaking, they weren't.
you can get a pretty artsy film back then that was long.
All right, well, we're not
But
talking
yeah,
about
the
we're not talking
general-
about
the
fucking
general-
Fellini or
the general
whoever the fuck.
movie.
Right. The general film was not 2+ hours.
Also, I added I added a really old French film on my list to
Let's
show
fucking
you.
go.
Nice.
You might have seen it already though.
As long as it's
I
not
need to show
Cleo
it.
from 5 to 7.
No, it's not. I didn't
Okay.
add that on my list, but I thought about it.
That's my main.
But I
That's
know
like
you've
the
seen
one
it
I've
already.
seen. Yeah.
I might have seen it though. Is the thing.
Maybe that's why I'll show you guys first. But
The tension of this shot and like the amount of time taken from when the guy across the street drives up in the car from behind the cornfields across the street from Thornhill, comes out, the car stops, a man gets out of the car, says something to the driver backs up and drives away, and the man stands across the street from Thornhill.
Yeah.
And it's just like probably 2 to 3 minutes
Yeah.
of Thornhill like
they're like looking at each
back
other.
and forth, and
Oh,
like
in my mind,
shot-
the
are
shots
so
get closer
good,
and
man.
closer, and you can tell like Thornhill that this is the guy. right? And then Thornhill eventually crosses the street.
To me,
I
the
feel like
moment
you can also tell it's not.
yeah,
him.
that
No,
to me,
it's
it was
absolutely not him.
super obvious. It's like, dude, what are you doing? This is obviously not the guy.
It's not the
This
guy.
is so obviously not the guy. Like,
But like I feel like the film at this point needed a bit of a breath. Like
Yeah.
so much had been happening
Yeah.
to where these scenes come as like a breath of fresh air. Like
They do.
not scenes, but these shots
Because it takes forever.
where like no dialogue is happening
yeah.
Like,
and all you're seeing is like setup.
from the moment that we cut to this setting of the bus driving down this long road and eventually dropping Thornhill off, and then from Thornhill hanging out, watching 4 or 5 cars drive by, to the man popping up, him walking across the street to the man getting on the bus. It's like a good 10, 15 minutes.
It's not that long.
It's
Okay.
not that long,
No.
but it's a
It's
long
probably-
time.
It feels like forever.
It's probably like
though.
5 minutes.
It feels like forever.
Yeah.
I think it's intentional.
Yeah. They're long shots and they hold.
They do.
I love this scene though.
It's a good scene. It's a
don't know
very
what-
good scene.
how
It's a
you
very
guys
good
feel
moment. Why though?
What do you mean?
Why the plane?
Oh, why did they try to use the
Why
plane?
did they try to use the plane? It would have been super easy for them to just roll up.
I think it's because they're consistently trying to make it look like accidents.
They
It's
literally
the same thing with the car
they
thing.
shoot
I mean,
at
it's clearly like a less. Yeah, the shooting.
they shoot at him
been
out of the
different,
plane.
It's hard to say.
They
It's
try
a dope
and-
set piece though.
Yeah, it's a very dope set piece, and they try
We
and
can't deny that this film has amazing set pieces.
for sure. But
They're
like
amazing.
They literally hire. Like my first thought was, okay,
It's an adventure film, Trevor.
yes, but so like they don't
Don't
want
hate on my movie.
they don't want him. I'm not hating. I liked this movie a lot. They don't want him to see obviously one of the few henchmen he's already met roll up in a car, because that would be bad. But like they could have gotten the pilot of this plane, who obviously was down to kill him, to roll up in a car and go, Thornhill, and he'd go, yeah, and then just go bang and just shoot him and they'd be done.
Yeah.
And then just drive away. And then no one ever knows what happens to him. He just gets killed in the middle of a field.
That's no fun though.
Why does it have to be out of a friggin' crop duster?
Because
That's
it's
no
a fucking
fun.
set piece.
And what are they like? So is there
How
two?
come in your anime they fucking waited with the helicopter for the
They at least give they at
around?
least give a somewhat reason.
Because he's like, I'm evil.
yeah, they give a reason of he wants to play with them and toy with them. And this, it's like they are paying this guy to be efficient and get rid of this guy using a crop duster. Why? Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm more critical on this.
Can't wait for you guys to get lambasted by the Hitchcock community. Shout out Hitch Boys.
Hell yeah. Tell
But you
us,
get what
tell
I'm-
us up, Hitch Boys.
You get what I'm getting
Shout
at.
shout out Cock Boys.
But you get what I'm getting
No,
at, right?
I know. I understand what you're saying.
Like, and they're shooting at him out of the airplane.
I mean, listen.
also, was there
Yeah,
two?
wait. What's the deal with that? Is a guy just sitting in the back of the plane shooting with a fucking gun?
Yeah, why
There's,
is
there's
it-
two people. There's the pilot and then the gunner.
So, but there's
Like in
no.
an
it's
old
no.
school, like,
there's no
fighter
fixed
pilot.
gun on the plane. He's just
No, it's
shooting a
probably
Tommy,
like a Tommy
gun,
gun, yeah.
out of the plane.
But he only
That's
fired like
absurd.
Trevor,
three.
what kind of gun is it? Did you have a bullet count?
He only fired like what 6 or 9 shots. I can't remember.
6 or 9?
It was 3 shots each time.
multiples of 3.
I can't. It was 3 shots. It was about 3 shots each time, and I cannot
Oh
remember.
wait, he was on burst rounds.
No, it wasn't burst.
3 shot. It's a famous.
Shout out gunfight. It was
Shout out M16A4.
I will say you guys are probably not wrong in it being a Thompson for the time period.
We're basically gun boys now.
So Trevor, get ready because we're gonna start.
We're the resident gun boys.
Okay, fine.
He's pissed. He couldn't be more mad.
My one. You guys want to take away my one thing? I have one thing I know
But
a
yeah,
little
did you
bit.
have anything else you wanted to say about?
I did like the scene. I do wonder why there's just the one bit of corn.
I don't know. Maybe there were other. Maybe
Like-
they were dead crops.
The way he
Maybe
gets
they had
away.
just harvested.
They
way
were
he-
definitely just harvesting if there was corn out there, but I feel like it would be a strip that they then finished for the day because maybe the tractor broke down or something. I
In
feel
case
like
you guys didn't know, Trevor's a farm boy.
the fact that there's just a circle of it. Why are you pinching my nipple?
Who are you talking to?
I'm talking to you.
I don't know what you mean.
Okay. The fact that they just did one little circle that was left perfect for him to hide in kind of weird.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
It was a whole field that he ran
That's a
into. He
classic
ran into a different
cornfield.
field.
It looked like it was just a circle.
I was
He
born-
ran into a different. It was
Was
the
it?
other side of the street that he ran into.
I was
Yeah, I know, but
not
there
the
was
side
like
that
there
didn't
was
have crops.
there was harvested crops on that side of the street.
I was born in a cornfield. That's totally a real cornfield.
Okay. All
Damn on
right.
the haters. Listen.
Anyways, and then the I assume that was a pesticide that he put down, which would
Yeah, he
That was a
fucked him
bummer.
up.
Yeah.
that
was a
would
bummer.
that would really not be good for his
You heard it here
lungs.
first, folks. That was a big bummer.
Big bummer. He fucking dipped out quick. He was like,
Yeah, that would not be good, especially back then. That was probably DDT or some shit like that.
ooh, sweet. Why wasn't he high the rest of the film?
DDT is not. I don't think that gets you high.
DDT?
That makes
You're thinking of DMX.
I'm thinking of DMT.
DDT is that one that like banned
DMX.
because it made eagle eggs really thin.
What?
What?
You don't remember that?
All right, Trevor.
Are you
Time
talking
out.
about napalm?
Okay, we're going
Nope.
to Trevor's Corner. Well, here's the
Everybody,
Trevor's...
welcome to Trevor's Corner.
Here's the Trevor's Corner theme. Da da da. Trevor's Corner.
DDT was, I believe, a pesticide. It might have been a herbicide, but I'm pretty sure it was a pesticide. Back in the day, that when it got into the water because it would obviously run off, and then fish would ingest it, and then when eagles would eat the fish, it caused eagle eggs to be so brittle that when eagles would sit to like rest and warm their eggs, they would break them. And so it was a huge impact on the eagle and other predatory bird populations.
That's actually...
And that has been Trevor's Corner, brought to you by Camel Cigarettes. Go
That's-
out and smoke, kids.
That's actually dull information. I resent Jacob's sarcastic tone. 1, 2, 3. Do 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 do. Trevor's Corner.
I'm Trevor.
And we're back.
I'm Trevor. Just shrugs and like walks into frame. You're dickless.
I just saw fleshy patch like a Barbie doll.
Why am I a Ken doll? I'm a Ken. Thank you very much.
I just saw a map today about indigenous bald eagle population in the state of Wisconsin. This is no bullshit. It sounds like a joke, but I'm for real. 1974, barely any. 2020, mad fucking eagles out in Wisconsin.
the banning of DDT, my dude.
I'll put that on the Instagram.
Oh, it was an anti-mosquito pesticide, I'm pretty sure, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Anyway, sorry.
Me and Abby just went to a park where they had like a few rehabilitating birds.
Yeah.
And they had a bald eagle.
I love a bald eagle.
He was like hopping around. on the ground.
America.
He was like just bouncing around. He was huge. Those
They're very large
those
birds.
motherfuckers are big.
Yeah, they're very large.
Scary looking. I don't like birds.
Birds are dinosaurs.
They're scary.
They are.
But that has that has little to nothing to do with what this movie's about.
All right, so he escapes, right? And the way he escapes, he baits the plane into flying, not driving.
Yeah, what the
into
fuck?
a gas
He's
truck.
run over by a truck.
That shit was crazy.
He does technically get run over by the truck.
He's under
yes.
it.
Yeah,
That was a
he's
wild
under the
scene.
truck. And why does the plane crash into it, though? That pilot seemed like he was doing pretty good
Can't
earlier.
pull up quick enough.
He was smoking too much.
He's like, we can't pull up.
He's got those eagle pesticides in his dick.
My dick's been chugging DDT.
He got an erection that pushed the the
All right, that's just
elevation
about
thing
enough,
down.
Trevor.
What the fuck?
That was crass.
Cut him off, Jake.
That was crass.
Cut him
All
off.
right, all right, but anyway, enough, Trevor. So the I'm just kidding. Come on. The plane crashes, and
It's
then he
ridiculous.
steals the that poor guy's truck with the fridge.
He took
brand new fridge strapped in the
Yeah.
back of his pickup.
That cowboy with the fucking bow legs
He's
just
like,
running
Ma,
after that
I
truck.
just got a new ice box for the cabin. Ma's not gonna see it.
Ma's
Give a
never gonna
fuck.
see that poor fridge.
Fuck.
And you know they don't have car insurance.
And you know they don't have fridge insurance.
No. Renters insurance or homeowners insurance.
What the fuck is fridge insurance?
what was it? Home Shield, that company that's always like, buy our insurance, we'll pay for your water here or some shit like that.
Oh, I don't know that one. That seems country
Okay.
as hell.
It's not really country.
So then they go to he goes to the hotel. Mm-hmm. This is where he finds out the Kaplan has not been there. He checked out at 7:00 or 7:30.
but the message came at 9.
The message came at 9. Yes, hours later. So that doesn't add up. And that he was already increasing suspicions when all this plane scene happened, and he figured out that this clearly couldn't be the place. He was set up, but he does see Eve
Yes.
in the lobby in a nice gown.
And he does some
Looking
good.
gorgeous.
He does
That's
some
a
good
sweet dress.
Yeah, it is. But he does some good sleuth work where he's like asking about Kaplan, and he's like, and then he watches her go up in the elevator.
Oh yeah, he sees
And
the
he's
number of the floor.
4, and he's like, by the way, I'm supposed to meet Miss
Eve Kendall.
Eve Kendall.
And room 4 something or other.
Can you look it up for me? I forget which room number it is. And he's like, the guy's suspicious, but he's like,
I don't think he's suspicious at all. I think he's classic. Like he's like, I don't care. I'm just gonna hand out information willy nilly.
I don't know, the
which
way-
he shouldn't be.
no. But
That's
also,
just bad news.
this is back in the day where I
He's
guess
already asked for one person. How many people are you gonna answer about?
so many people. He's like, so many hotels also are just easily giving up. Like, what room is this person in? And
I
they're
think
like,
that's a classic-
oh yeah, this.
I think that's a classic old school thing, though.
Yeah, because they do
Has
not
to
do
be.
that now.
No, for sure.
They
not.
very much do not do that now.
Yeah, no.
For like domestic
or
abuse
like classic
reasons and
like
stuff like that.
hand out room keys and shit. Like they
Yeah.
handed out a room key earlier in this to the mom.
Right. Well,
They
I
just
mean,
gave him a room key.
you're not gonna trust that mom.
No, I don't trust her at all.
Her
Why?
charms.
I don't like her. She's mean,
I assume she was very charming.
and she doesn't trust her poor son.
Yeah, that was so fucked up.
Poor Mr. Stark.
What?
Oh,
Just because he drank a whole bottle of liquor and then went driving?
Leave him alone. Let him drink the bourbon.
He also
Also, drunk driving was only $2 fee back then, dude.
$2,
That ain't that bad.
bro.
he was threatened to have his license revoked if he didn't do the blood test.
That's a quarter of a pub sub.
This film is not endorsed by drunk driving. Do not drunk drive, guys.
But also eat pub subs.
Do eat pub subs.
Use coupon code Harbor_boys for the.
There's no underscores in her promo codes.
You don't know that.
Don't lie to the people, Jacob.
to be
Trying
fair,
to get them to follow our.
oh my
Insta.
god. Yeah, $2 back then was only $17.
That's 2 pub subs.
Chicken tenny or otherwise.
I love a
2
chicken
chicken
tender sub.
tendies.
Buffalo chicken
Wait.
tender.
What are you getting in chicken tender sub?
I get it tossed in buffalo sauce.
No.
Yes, that's the only way to
That's
do
it. I
it.
don't
I
do
mean,
that.
you're already wrong, but keep going.
Provolone cheese, lettuce, ranch dressing, because it's buffalo.
Buffalo and ranch?
Yeah, if you do buffalo, you have to go ranch. I agree with that sentiment.
Okay. What's next?
I don't
Um,
traditionally go buffalo.
I like banana peppers, pickles.
How spicy do you want this?
It's not that banana peppers aren't spicy.
They're
Do you,
tangy.
do you want to just poop the entire sandwich out as soon as you eat it?
That's only you.
Yeah, that's not me. I don't really.
I don't poop at all.
You poop 4 or 5 times a day.
You're like
I've
the,
never pooped in my life.
You're like the supreme leader of North Korea. He never poops.
You guys missed it, but he just looked at me with the straightest face I've ever seen and said that.
I don't know why you're laughing.
So,
Hey, what's your pub sub?
Oh, I've probably only gotten 2 in my life.
What? You've
Well,
only
2
gotten-
chicken. I assume when you say pub sub, you
You
mean
live
chicken
in
tender.
What is
fucking
your go-to?
Florida.
What is your go-to pub sub?
Chicken
no matter
tender.
what. Chicken tender? You've only gotten 2 of
You've
them?
only gotten 2 pub subs
No,
in
I've
your
gotten
entire
more than
life?
2, but I haven't gotten them very frequently.
What did you get on it, though?
Are you actually from Palm Harbor?
I think I did. Well, see, I just go to other places, not a supermarket, to get a sandwich.
Oh, you're a fucking snob.
Oh, he goes to the place we're getting lunch from, probably, or dinner from later.
He doesn't know Seminole gyros and subs.
That's my place.
I found that
gave you.
place.
Also, we got to bring you to Delco's sometime.
And Lenny's.
Yeah, shout out Delco's and Lenny's.
It sounds like you're.
2 both Philadelphia places.
Sounds
which
like you're
is
avoiding
randomly
the.
around here.
You're avoiding the question.
But
Well, 'cause
I
the
do a
Phillies
chicken
play.
tender. I do a chicken tender sub.
Yeah.
I would do like lettuce, tomato, pickles, and then ketchup and mustard.
That
Interesting.
sounds fucking disgusting.
Ketchup and mustard on a... Oh.
Yeah.
I'm chicken tenders chopped and tossed in ranch, cheddar
Interesting.
cheese toasted, more
Just
ranch,
ranch without the fucking.
more ranch, then some lettuce, some garlic pickles, and some more ranch on top.
What I'm hearing is he just wants ranch.
Yeah, you and Marissa are fucking obsessed with.
I mean,
ranch.
that's 100% Marissa's sandwich, and I just really like it. So
You need to try the buffalo toss.
I don't like buffalo
with a dab
chicken.
of ranch.
Yeah, with the ranch.
I'm also not the Migos, so I don't like a dab of ranch.
I do like a little bit of mustard on mine on occasion.
So you
Mustard
yelled at
and-
me about mustard, and then what?
No, I yelled at you about
Mustard
the
and
ketchup.
ranch
I
seems
like
like a weird
ketchup
combo.
and chicken tenders. How is that weird?
Ketchup
on a
and mustard and
sandwich.
chicken tenders.
Yeah, you just did chicken nuggets with ketchup and mustard.
That's different.
How is that different?
It's not a sandwich.
How is
Yeah.
that different?
It's not a sandwich.
You guys are fucking cowards.
Thank you,
We're
Trevor.
not cowards. I think he's right.
Everybody sound off in the comments.
Yeah, please let us know. We'll put a fucking Instagram
I
vote
think
up.
it's weirder to just do the nuggets with mustard.
Why?
I'm pissed. This is bullshit.
I also did nuggets with ketchup and mustard, not just mustard.
I'm just saying it's weird. I've never dipped my fucking nuggets in spicy mustard.
Nuggets, ketchup, brown mustard.
I've done
I'm gonna
ketchup.
shit on your chest.
Okay.
Jesus. I've done ketchup with like a little bit, maybe like sriracha or something, a little spicy.
That's not mustard.
That's not weird, and that's different.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just throwing out my.
Get out of the room.
All right. So we need 2 votes. Chat. We need
It's live.
buffalo chicken tender sub.
we need what's your dressing for a Publix chicken tender sub. All right.
I think most people are gonna say either ketchup or mayonnaise.
You guys got to
That's
remember.
insane.
I think people are gonna say mayonnaise. Mayonnaise
That's
with chicken is
insane.
like people's go-to.
Mayo is the dressing?
Yeah. I
Before
swear to God.
ranch or buffalo?
Am I wrong that people love chicken and mayo?
Yeah, mayo's good. I'll throw mayo on mine sometimes. Even.
Mayo is disgusting. How many spoonfuls of mayo do you have in a day, Trevor?
Oh God.
Sorry, I
Depends.
just punted my fucking paper across.
Depends on the day. Like,
All
what
right.
am I eating for dinner?
Depends
Don't
on the
care.
day how many spoonfuls you have. You're sick. You're a sick fuck.
All right, wait. So we had chicken tender toppings, right? Chicken tender dressing. And then second question, Abby, is chicken tenders.
I was just Abby.
What? Because she's gonna post on the Instagram.
Oh, okay.
What's your chicken tender dressing? Is it ketchup?
Post on the Insta.
Is it ketchup and mustard? Is it just mustard? Or is it fill-in sauce here?
Buffalo sauce with ranch.
Dip straight tendies in buffalo and ranch?
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
I'm
I thought we were
talking about
sandwich
fucking.
still.
I'm talking
I was
about chicken
confused, too.
nuggies.
I
I'm
thought you were talking about
Okay.
sub.
Pull 1, chicken tendy sub. Pull 2, chicken nuggets.
Oh.
What's your dip?
Well, now are we considering boneless
I'll
wings
go-
chicken tenders?
No.
Okay.
Of course not. I will go ketchup for both.
Point blank.
Ketchup, yeah.
If I gun to my
On
head,
tendies.
ketchup.
I'm saying ranch on the sub.
Gun to my head, ketchup
Ranch
for
on the
both.
sub on the chicken nugs. Ketchup mustard, but
Nugs?
spicy brown.
Nugs, I really love Chick-fil-A sauce though.
We're not talking about Chick-fil-A nugs.
Are we
though.
at Chick-fil-A, dude?
We're at fucking.
You said no.
Jacob just made a fucking dino nugs in his oven.
You know
what
what?
is your dip?
My Uvy.
If he made it in the oven and there's
There was Chick-fil-A
there was
sauce.
Chick-fil-A
You
sauce.
fucking
in
Yeah,
there.
you fucked up, nerd. There was ranch in there too.
Oh, I could have eaten the Chick-fil-A sauce.
I almost dipped the Fritos in the ranch before.
I
but
wanted you to.
thought
That's why we
better of it.
saved them.
I
Also, Trevor, we saved your dessert from last time. It's in
I'm
the
eating
fridge
it.
still.
Oh, thanks, man. I'm
Of
eating
course, I didn't eat it.
I thought you would eat it.
No,
I'm
dude,
gonna
it's
eat
fine.
I
it.
should have texted you and said you can eat that.
I would never.
I'll eat it tonight.
Good. But man,
What was
we've
it,
gotten
apple
off track.
strudel or something?
Yeah, it was apple strudel.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Okay.
Lucky Dill.
That's our chicken tangent for the week. Please sound off in the comments or in the chat, whatever you
Or
prefer.
an Instagram story.
Instagram story.
I can't believe I forgot the.
Abby
YouTube
reads-
comments,
Abby reads
SoundCloud
everything.
comments. All right,
Well, definitely not SoundCloud comments. I won't look at those.
I'll look at them. I'm serious. I'll pull up the account and I'll look at them. I'll reply to them on my own account. Craft
on.
Beats. Craft
Don't
_
fucking
Beats.
shout yourself out, you coward.
Anyway,
I'm just mad I forgot the Chick-fil-A sauce was in there.
so we said great set pieces. That's my my note after bus stop shot fire. I don't know what that means.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're at the
So-
hotel, and he's talking to Eve again as
Great
she's in a
scene.
hotel room.
Great scene.
Yeah.
Great espionage.
Yes, so he goes and takes a fake shower as his suit is being cleaned
Great
up.
fake shower.
And
He's
she,
very forward with her
She dips out.
when he shows up.
She
He's
dips
like,
the fuck out.
"How about we have sex?" And she's like, "No, I don't know."
He's
maybe."
also like, you tricked me, and pointing at her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true. He's like, he immediately goes from "you tricked me" to "how about we bone?" Like
But let-
almost
let me
in the
take a
Trying to
shower.
distract her.
Yeah, true, but still, it was at the moment I was like, "Wow, this
But
is
she
kinda
dips
wild.
hard.
She dips super hard.
But
And
also
he
they're in
knows.
love.
They are in love.
He knows. He's watching.
Well, she's in love. He's
In
kind
lust.
of in love, but really fucking pissed.
he's in lust.
Is he? I think
He's
he's
just
Shout out
lost,
Will.
bro.
I think he's just really mad.
No, he's trying to. I'm not gonna say it. He's in lust.
He's trying to bone.
Yeah, so then the next scene is at the
Don't
art
look away from
gallery, the art auction.
Great
Art
scene.
auction. Yeah, he
Fantastic
He does
scene.
the great detective move and does the pencil rubbing on the notepad
Yes,
to get
to
the
be able to
address.
find
Phenomenal.
the Addy, yeah.
12-12.
The thing that everyone has done for every spy movie ever.
After this,
After this, great point.
Yeah, absolutely. After this,
This was the progenitor.
I
be
feel
fair,
like this fucking movie's getting overlooked by you guys because you're like,
I think
like other movies have done it. Have you ever heard of Mission Impossible, bitch?
I
It
really
came out
think
in the fucking 90s.
I really think that it did. I mean, it really set the precedent for like almost every espionage film.
has
For
that
sure.
move ever been done before this movie?
I don't know.
I'm sure it has, but like
I'm counting this.
on this much of a scale.
Maybe
Who's to say?
And on this good,
someone who actually knows things.
We'll put this on the Patreon. Show me something double of where we answer our own questions.
where we talk off mic.
Where we answer our own questions.
We do not actually have a Patreon as of right now, but stay tuned.
Let us know if you want one in the comments.
Let us know if you want us to, if you
If
guys
you
want
want to pay for us.
Pay for us to stay unemployed and just do this for the rest of our lives.
Patreon.
Yeah, so they are at the art gallery, and
He-
Eve is with Mr. Van Damme.
He's got
Ooh.
his hand around her neck very menacingly.
Around
Yeah,
her
that's a
breast.
weird shot.
He does not have her breast.
He's massaging her neck.
I don't think that's massaging. I feel like that's grabbing.
You
Choking.
think he's choking back neck?
And Leonard is there.
Choking the back neck?
Good old Leonard, classic third wheel.
Shout out
classic,
Leonard.
Classic third wheel.
Shout out Leonard,
Classic
a.k.a. Jaws
loves-
Jr.
classic loves to watch.
You're kind of like Leonard.
Please don't.
But anyway.
Why?
It's a classic hentai trope, right?
What? No. Maybe. I don't like that I answered that so quickly.
Yeah, that's the part where I wrote the note where the two bad guys look like Bond villains. And then also Roger is very upset and Eve is super sad. They do a shot of her and she's like crying
Yeah, she's teary-eyed.
because he is in front of them talking about like how pissed off he is and how much she betrayed him.
Yeah, he's pissed
Like
off
in
because he
front of
was
Mr. Van Damme
manipulated.
and Leonard.
Yeah, and you have
And
that.
she can't react because
You
she
have
needs
that-
to be stoic in front
Right.
of Mr. Van Damme.
Right, and you have that shot of Mr. Van Damme's hand coming off her shoulder. Like he's pissed that she manipulated Thornhill with her own advances in the train. It's almost as if he wasn't aware of what happened in the train.
Yeah,
besides.
or like what length she had to go to.
Right, like was it just a general seduction or was it a physical seduction?
But like at the end of the day, it seems like he set her up for that. Like
100%.
yeah, that's exactly what happened.
I mean,
so like,
you are the reason why she was in that train car.
so like,
with
what did you
Thornhill.
expect?
Right. But regardless, he gets confirmation of the fact that it was a physical thing. And like Yucky removes his hand off of Eve's shoulder.
Yeah.
So then there's our first glimpse of unrest between Eve and Van Damme. And then you get into this, basically like, they go back and forth intellectually, right? Thornhill and Van Damme about whatever the fuck is going on between the two of them.
Yeah. Their espionage.
Thornhill tries to leave the room because he understands what's happening, right? He's been played, essentially.
Yeah. After they bid on the statue,
Right, they bid on a statue.
they won
Thornhill gets
Bid.
blocked at 2 different entrances
by henchmen.
by henchmen, including Leonard, is the second block.
Yes.
He then sits down among the crowd of the auction,
He squeezes in.
and then this is just like the best fucking thing. Like I like this shit.
He realizes that the only way he can get out is if he makes a scene because he
Right.
feels like he's
And gets
better
escorted
off,
out.
He's better off going
With the police. Right.
than with anybody else.
Right. So he tries to leave by himself of his own volition, is blocked off by Van Damme henchmen.
The knife
Realizes,
throwing one. The knife throwing one.
the knife throwing one.
Yes.
Realizes that his only escape essentially is the police. So he sits down, as Jacob mentioned, like butts in on a row of the auction and starts making like ridiculous bets, like
And
betting
starts talking about how the art is fake and
Yeah.
bullshit.
He
this
keeps
is
making
fake.
he
Like
keeps
I'll
making-
bid $12.
Yeah,
because that's more than it's worth.
Yeah,
Shit
he
like
makes
that.
a bunch of like even like regular bids that are like well under what the current bid is.
Or well over.
Yeah.
Right.
He's like it's like 3,000 and he's like 1,200. And it's like the
Dude,
current
so
bid's
good.
3,000. He's like, I know, 1,200. It's
So
like
good.
what?
They like he throws the auctioneer off. He throws the crowd off.
Bad auctioneer
Everybody
for
gets
being
mad.
thrown off that bad. Like ignore him and keep
I mean,
going.
I'm sure that never happens.
Yeah,
I guess in a place like that, yeah.
that shit was great, and the variation of reactions between the crowd, like at first being like angry about what he's doing, but then they eventually start to laugh at what
And
he's
then they
doing.
get angry again.
Yeah.
Right. Then they get angry again when it like is truly throwing off their process.
I mean, if you go to that kind of thing, you definitely you're going there for the art.
Right.
You're not going
It's
there for
like,
like a fucking party.
Keep this shit
Yeah.
moving. Like, let me spend my money and let's keep it going. But yeah, that shit was hilarious, and his whole like 3,000 like, oh, my money's not good enough for you bit. Eventually, the auction house realizes we need to remove this man forcibly.
So they call the police.
Call the police. Police
police
come and
grab
get him. He's excited as hell because that was his whole intent.
Yeah, he
was to
makes
get
like a
grabbed by
snide
cops.
remark on his way out to the henchman.
To knife throwing
Took
henchmen.
you long enough. Or,
Yeah.
that one was like, I think like,
Maybe better luck
better
next
luck
time.
next time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they escort him out. No handcuffs. No
Nope.
handcuffs, mind you.
Never.
Even
And
in the back of the cop car when they find out that he's like a well-known murderer, still no handcuffs.
Well, also because he straight up tells them that he's a well-known murderer.
Yeah,
And
but
they're
then
just.
they get a call.
But also the professor is at the auction,
Yeah.
which is wild.
What do you think that he put himself in that scenario to get like potentially to get caught? Or what?
I guess he was there being the actual spy. What's his name? The fake name. I'm having a blackout.
Who are you trying to think of?
Kaplan, yeah. I guess he was there being like an actual secondary spy that Kaplan's not.
There's a lot of different spies going on right now.
Yeah, so I don't know. It was kind of weird that the professor was there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
he makes the call to the police officers, basically
Yes.
that you need to drop this man off at the airport. I'm the FBI. You do what I say.
and
I'm
they're
federal, homie.
and they're like, "Oof, okay, I guess so.
They're like, yeesh, this guy did kill a guy, but let's just drop him off at the airport.
also-
lol.
I guess if the FBI says he didn't, then he didn't. But they also don't know that.
I mean, it's the
or-
FBI, so. So then he goes to the Northwest Terminal, shout out title, of the airport, and then hangs out with the professor, and they go to Mount Rushmore after convincing him basically to go.
He's like, hey,
They're on the tarmac as he's convincing him.
hey, be our spy. Like, continue to be George Thorogood. And he's like, no, that's stupid. And he's like,
What did you say?
but
You mean George Captain?
George
Thorogood?
George continue to be George Kaplan, and he's like, no, that's dumb. And then,
Also, they do the great shot of like where you can't hear any of their audio, and all
Yeah.
you hear is the airplane
Dude, I
as
loved
they're
that.
talking.
that was a good
I
shot.
love that.
But he was like, what about Miss Eva? Or Eve? Or, I'm really bad
Eve
at names.
What are you
Kendall.
watching?
Miss
Wally?
Kendall.
What's going on? Right?
Eva. Wally.
Classic.
I mean, my first thought was Parasite Eve, which is an old video game. Anyways. Wow. Anyways.
Is that a hentai game?
No, it is not. It's a game that is unfortunately a dead franchise at this point.
Rip.
Anyways, Miss Kendall, aren't you curious about her? And he's like, What? Why are you bringing her up? And it's like,
She's the agent.
she's the agent. And he's like, oh fuck. He's like, and if you fuck off, then she's in danger. And he's
She
like,
gonna die.
she's gonna die, and you can't ever see her again. And he's like, oh, I guess I'll help. And he's like, yeah, if you help, then what's his name? Van Damme will get out of the country, and you and her can be together. And
Yeah.
he's like, yeah, I'm game then, 100%. Let's do this shit. I want to get my dick wet again.
Damn.
He said that literally verbatim.
Which is crazy. So then they go to Mount Rushmore and are talking as they're looking at these sites and stuff and getting ready for this whole scenario. And
Waiting on Van Damme and Eve and
to show up.
what's
yeah.
his face to show up.
And this is where they have their big acting moment. So they're in the dining hall of like this like resort outside, or maybe just like
I think it's like the visitor center.
yeah, visitor center. Yeah, that's
Like a
the word I'm looking
cafeteria?
for. Yeah, for Mount Rushmore, and they have a conversation, Roger and Mr. Van Damme, about what's going on and what they're gonna do and how much and basically the scenario of them trading Eve for his safe transport outside of the country.
Right.
And he doesn't agree to it. They don't like it, and then Eve comes in.
Does he actually not agree to it? Or
I don't think he agrees to it. He's like, why would I do that just for peace of mind? He's like, do you think I don't like her that much after all this?
I feel like they never actually end the conversation fully.
I mean, they don't, because she comes in.
She comes in, so like I feel like we never actually get to hear Van Damme's actual answer on the whole thing.
Yeah, and Roger continues to be antagonistic towards Eve.
Yes.
continuing from the auction house, like antagonism.
Yeah.
So then she pulls a gun on Roger and shoots him twice.
Bang, bang.
Bang! What kind of gun was it?
That looked like it would be a 32, a point.
2 shots out of how many?
A .32. That looked. I think I have a very similar gun to that at home, and that thing holds 5 or 6 rounds.
Not a lot.
One shot to the leg, one shot to the
It's a very
chest.
small gun, but also that very well could be a .38 caliber.
A Walther PP7.
I don't think it was a Walther.
Shout out James Bond.
I should have looked this one up. Damn it!
But you didn't.
I
There
didn't
he
look
is.
this one
now you're
up.
gonna be prepared though for the next
Fucking
podcast,
gun boy.
where me and Will consistently call you out on weapons.
Shouldn't have started off that way.
Yeah. So then she runs away. Everybody freaks out. The professor runs over pretending to be a doctor, and tends to Roger and basically says that he is dead. To the standarbys,
Right.
And they call in
Bystanders.
paramedics. Standarbys.
So
And they call in paramedics and bring him off on a stretcher.
It is a Colt model 1908 vest pocket, and it is a .25 caliber, which I do actually have a gun in that caliber. It's a very, very small caliber
dope.
pocket pistol. Don't know how many rounds it has, but that also doesn't really matter.
Well, it does to you, right?
I mean, not in this case. She only fires twice.
You're the resident gun
We
expert.
get 1 shot, so that's 3 later on. And then we hear 3 more, and that's definitely well within a .25 caliber's range of
So it all
ammo
makes sense.
capacity. Yeah, no, that one worked out fine.
Good continuity, Alfred.
Shout out Hitchcock, if you're listening to this.
Don't know the exact ammo count on that model, but in terms of the one I have at home, that makes sense.
But yeah, so they end up driving the ambulance into the woods as he's been picked up on the stretcher.
Yes.
And she has driven the car by herself up to. She's saying she's going back to the house or whatever. That's
Crazy
her.
they didn't-
That's her alibi. But they meet in the woods.
Yes, crazy they didn't put any squibs on him, because there was probably no blood on the floor whenever they picked him up.
But you saw
Yeah.
the professor wipe up his chest and pretend like it was blood.
Yeah, but he wiped his face too with that rag.
But I also
Yeah.
just kind of feel like this is.
the time period.
Yeah, it's an old movie, so they're not going to show a lot of blood.
Yeah, I guess so. But I don't know. For me, I would expect there to at least be some sort of squib, or
That's very new age. of you.
maybe a bulletproof vest when she actually shoots him.
This sounds new age.
Yeah, fair.
But yeah, so then they
When
are
did she
talking.
get time to get blanks? Also, for a point to whatever.
They're talking in the woods. So, and they have their little moment again where they're like, "Oh,
Oh,
I didn't
I
know.
love
I love
you
you. You're
so
the best.
much."
You're the greatest."
And then she's like, "Oh,
She's like, "I still gotta go on my freaking mission."
And he's like, "What?" And she's like, "You didn't tell him?" It's like, no, she's going with Van Damme across out of the country,
and
you'll
she's sad. He's pissed.
you'll never see her again. And yeah, so then his driver, the park ranger, punches him out. Another
Great
classic,
shot.
Another classic punch out.
It's a really good shot
Great
too.
shot.
It's like a POV punch.
It's a really nice shot.
Yeah, so they're at the hospital, and he's talking to the professor, and he asks him to go get a drink for him as he's getting dressed again. And then
In a shirt and slacks.
in this little time when the professor's going to get drinks for them together, he escapes through the window.
Yes, which you'd think they'd have the window locked.
No, man. And he
Fetch me
goes
some
and
bourbon.
he goes into the room next to them, and he sees another horny blonde.
Fucking what the fuck
What's
is
the
up
point
with
of
this
that
guy's
shot?
face?
I don't
What's the point
know.
of that shot?
I assume it's to establish that our main character is incredibly attractive.
She says,
Yeah, I wrote down lady in the hospital wants to fuck him.
no glasses. She says, no. And she puts on her glasses. No.
Hell yeah.
For some reason,
It's like a Denzel.
I have
Wall.
written down I called it on the lady being the agent. I don't know why.
You're
Did
smart.
you call it?
I guess I called it earlier on in the movie, but I don't remember
Yeah,
calling
Riz
it.
called it at the train.
Maybe I called it at the train. Oh, you know what? I totally called it at the train, and
Doesn't
then
sound like it. Sounds like
I took it back
Merciful.
whenever she was part of Van Damme's entourage. I was like, I guess she's not the agent, but then I guess I was right in the end. Anyways, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I have written down after that, a little bit after that is, damn, women really like his face. Because...
And then they escape to, he goes to Van Damme's estate
Yeah.
on the top of Mount Rushmore.
It's a sweet ass house.
It's a dope house. Reminds me of Frank Lloyd Wright, the famous architect.
Agree. How does he know that's where she is? I missed that part.
I think that they mentioned that that she was going back to the estate when she was driving away initially.
Okay.
Like, and going the long way around, like through the woods. So he probably had like a vague
understanding
of where it was.
Up in that area?
Yeah.
Above Mount Rushmore?
So he goes to the house and he tries to like sneak around the house and sneak up to where her bedroom is at and like try to see what's going on, like get a gist of the situation. And this is where we see Mr. Van Damme and Leonard have like their conversation, which is like a really intense conversation when Leonard basically like shoos Eve away and he talks to Van Damme about how she is a spy.
And then shoots that motherfucker twice in the chest.
Yeah. He shoots Mr. Van Damme, but it's the blanks.
Right.
It's the gun with the blanks.
That was a great twist. I knew as soon as he shot Van Damme that it was going to be the gun that Eve had been using.
For sure. Well, I honestly, there was a small part of me that thought whenever like he had the gun sitting behind him.
Yeah.
During that shot from Roger's point of view.
Yeah, from outside the wall.
From outside.
Thornhill.
I was like, is he going to kill him? Yeah. Like, there was a small part of me that's like, that's probably the blanks, but there was a part of me that was like, he might be killing him to get the credit with whatever nation he's supposed, probably Russia, obviously. But
right.
So I don't know, that was kind of cool. But also, why didn't Eve, she had tons of time to either get rid of that gun.
Just get rid of it.
Or at least change the ammo back out.
Right.
Because she had this gun earlier. It probably had real bullets in it at one point.
Right.
So put the real bullets back in.
If you're a FBI or CIA or whatever intelligence agency agent, you have to think you would be cognizant enough to get rid of that.
To be fair, at this
situation.
point, we also just found out that she has not always been an agent.
Yeah,
she legitimately was or is a architect, or what is she?
I'm not sure, but she met him at a party.
She met him at a party and legitimately did
just like him,
and then became an agent. So I guess maybe she doesn't have all the training to know. But you would think the professor during that time, whenever she's like with them, would be like, "Oh, by the way, give me that fucking gun. Like, you'll get found out.
Yeah.
Give me the gun." So that was wild.
But anyway, they are headed to they're waiting on the airplane to show up at their airstrip,
right?
To try to get out of Dodge, and she is getting ready, and then this is when Roger is starting to climb up the wall to try to get her, but he gets up right as she is leaving the room. So then he enters the room and then sees her on the couch, and this is where we didn't mention it before, but all of his things have Rot spelled on them because it's his initials. Well, the O doesn't mean anything, but R and T, Roger Thornhill.
I bet the O means something.
He says it means nothing, but that's the only reason I say that. He says it means nothing. But so he throws down his matchbook that has Rot on it, and he has a little message for her like, "They've found you out.
I'm in your room.
I'm upstairs. Come talk to me."
Yeah.
Basically. And he launches it down, and Leonard sees it first.
That shit was so good.
It was really good. Where he sees it and then just picks it up and puts it in the bowl where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
and then she looks at it, and you see her like jolt a little bit, like, what the fuck? Because it says Rot on it.
And she knows.
Yeah. And she reads it and then goes up and makes the excuse that she lost her earring or needs to find
forgot her earrings or something. Right.
Yeah. But she only gets to talk to him for like a split second, and he tells her the what's going on. But then she has to go.
And the statue has the microfilm in it.
Yes, this microfilm, this mysterious microfilm that like they don't really say anything else about.
Well, I assume the microfilm is either recordings or plans or
something. It's something.
It's intelligence of some sort
that the Russians can't get.
Yeah, they don't want the Russians to have it. That's kind of so the whole time I'm wondering, why the fuck are they letting this spy go? Like, they know the FBI knows he's a spy. They know he has info. Why are they letting him leave? Are they assuming because he has fake intelligence? Why is he?
It's all part of a bigger plan, my dude.
But why is he allowed to leave? And then later on, since they got the microfilm, I assume is why everything worked out fine. why the fuck was he being allowed to leave?
Because they want to get rid of the entire network.
But that's not getting rid of the network. That's just letting another piece go back. Get rid of him. I don't understand why they're letting him leave. Is my only question.
Well, they're obviously fine with it because he just knows about it.
If they knew that they gave him fake information, I 100% understand letting him leave. But he has real information in the film, in the point of the microfilms that nobody knows about.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say what the actual motive of the professor is. Like, he's pretty, like, he doesn't really tell you his plan.
Yeah.
Like, it's clearly because they're keeping all the FBI secrets to themselves. Like, these random people, even though she's a spy, she was still somebody off the street. And then he is literally off the street. They don't need to know the plan. They just need to be there and report on it.
True, but still, like, I don't know.
I mean, I think that's what it is. Like,
it's weird that
there's a bigger plan involved that we don't know.
They don't want to let him go, but then he was there. You know what I mean? Like, at the end? Whatever.
Well, he didn't want him there.
I'm jumping ahead. No, not that part. The other part. The fact that the professor was at the facility and arrested.
I think that's also him knowing that the only place he would have escaped to was to go find Eve.
I guess so.
Like, if he went, because it would only take him a couple minutes to go back to the room with the drinks and be like, oh, he left. He clearly went the only place he would go, which was to Eve.
Yeah, true. But I don't know. It's just weird that they were going to let this spy leave, to me. Like, without any sort of, like, we gave him false information or something.
Yeah.
Something to let the audience know, why the fuck is this spy being allowed to leave?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You think they need to over-explain themselves?
No, I don't think they need to.
It's good when films over-explain themselves?
No, I don't think it's good when films over-explain themselves. I think it's nice to have at least a hint of something.
Show your fucking hand, film.
Yeah.
I don't want.
I really love when films over-explain things.
I don't want it over-explained.
The audience is dumb.
I want something.
Yeah.
I want more than nothing, and I feel like I had nothing. Why is he being allowed to leave?
Yeah.
Give me a reason. Any reason. He's the professor's brother, and the professor just doesn't want his brother killed or arrested. Like, fine. I don't give a fuck what the reason is. I want a reason. Why are you looking at me like this?
No, I'm just listening. I disagree.
Anyways. Yeah, so the housekeeper catches... So they go to leave, and Eve is told that she needs to not get on that plane and get the statue.
Yeah. So basically Roger gets held at gunpoint by the maid that's in the house because she sees him in the TV reflection.
Yes.
As she's putting away glasses.
That shot
was really good.
is so fucking awesome.
So good. Good on the maid for picking
really
up
good.
on that, too. Like, seeing someone in the reflection
and
being
cool as fuck.
Yeah, she played
so
it off really
cool.
well.
She's like,
And it takes him a little bit to realize, too, that is the blank gun, because we have this long shot of, like, the three of them, Leonard, Van Damme, and Eve, looking at each other as they're walking down this airstrip. And you can see the tension building.
Mm-hmm. As Eve's, like, trying to figure out...
Eve is understanding that where her scenario is at, where she's going to die. She has the statuette, and Van Damme is also looking uneasy, which we don't figure out until a little bit later. And then Leonard is just looking like he wants to fucking kill him.
Yeah.
And so they eventually see, or they hear the gunshots, and then they see Roger run out of the house.
And get in a car.
Yes. And they end up escaping into the woods.
Yes,
Big escape.
they drive away real quick, and then it's like, oh, the gate's locked.
Yes.
jump out of the car.
Jump out of the car, run into the woods.
Yeah, and they
How
end
do
up
none of his
running.
henchmen have guns
They're
on
trash. They end up running towards Mount Rushmore.
them? Which, while they're on top
like,
of Mount Rushmore,
the face of it.
where National Treasure took place. National Treasure 2.
National Treasure 2.
They were on top of Mount Rushmore in that lake, which is not there inexplicitly.
Damn. Well, I think I have seen National Treasure 2. It's been a fucking minute.
I haven't. First one only.
First one's classic.
First
But
one's classic.
Most
Two
recently,
is-
when I did watch it, not that classic. Kind of sucked.
Perfectionist. Yeah, I haven't seen it since I watched it.
I wouldn't watch
time.
it again.
But yeah,
Unless you're a Sean Bean man.
I love Sean Bean.
Love him. Not
love some good
still
Sean
not-
Bean.
Classic Boromir.
Still not worth it.
Classic Boromir.
Classic Eddard Stark.
Classic bad guy in GoldenEye.
Yeah,
Yes.
true.
Yeah, 006, right, is who he is, but then he's like the other guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, they run off and they're climbing down the front of Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, so our final set piece
Yes.
Big
is
set piece.
Mount Rushmore.
We talked about it a little bit earlier.
So, Cobb, you said this is a built Mount Rushmore?
Yeah, for
And
sure.
it's
it
super-
very much looks like
yeah.
one.
No, it is. I'm sorry. I posed that like a question.
Yeah.
I saw that in the Amazon Prime quote-unquote X-ray where it said this is not filmed on Mount Rushmore. It's
Yeah.
filmed on a soundstage. And they had to take very careful consideration of what shots they showed with the president's faces because they couldn't show any quote-unquote violence in the same frame as the face of a president.
Oh, interesting.
That's kind of interesting. But
It makes sense.
Kind of makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, whoever owns Mount Rushmore, I'm assuming it's the United States government.
Yeah, of course it's the.
Doesn't want that to be
It's a
associated
national-
Fucking
with.
Jeff Bezos, dude.
It's a national park.
I fucking own it. All right. They don't want it to be associated with violent content.
For sure.
So there, if you watch that scene, which is quite long, it's very drawn out, in my opinion. Doesn't need to be as long as it is, but again, I'm in the camp where this movie's a little bit too long for its own good. You'll notice that any scene of violence, such as
The music is great during this scene, by the way.
yeah.
it's fucking amazing. I mean, the tension and suspense that this scene generates is incredible. Don't
By the
get
way,
me wrong.
She makes it a pretty good way down Mount Rushmore in her high heels before
Yeah.
she takes them off. She
She
does
does
take them
good.
off eventually.
Yeah, because the
She's
high
a
heel
spy.
breaks.
She's a spy.
Yeah,
Trev.
but I was like, damn, that's
fucking spy
impressive.
And he fucking knocks one of the henchmen off the mountain.
Yeah, that's
Falls
The knife-
to his fucking death.
It's the knife throwing one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, good
He
for
falls
him.
to his
Good,
death.
he gets his comeuppance.
Great
and
work.
then, so they are hanging off the side of the mountain, and Eve is hanging on to Roger's hand.
And Roger's like barely hanging on himself.
Yes. And he tries to get Leonard to help him. Leonard has the statue at
Why
this
would
point.
Leonard ever help them?
And then Leonard puts his foot on Roger's hand.
So when Leonard first started
You get
walking
that
over
close-up
there,
shot.
I was like, why the fuck is he going to help them? Why is he suddenly having a heel turn? This is crazy. And then he puts his foot on his hand, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, no fucking way that park ranger made that shot with his pistol. That was a really long shot.
So.
what,
Well,
kind of gun, what kind of gun was it, Trevor?
What kind of gun was it, you fucking nerd?
It's probably just the standard issue revolver.
I think it was the fucking Han Solo pistol with the scope on it.
They don't have it listed.
Yeah, so
If you play Rainbow Six Siege,
they don't actually
Kaid
show the gun.
and Nomad have a 44 mag with a scope on it. That's what it was.
All right.
So they so they shoot fucking Leonard and he dies and falls off
down.
the
Fuck
thing,
you, Leonard.
And the statue breaks and you see the microfilm.
Yes.
Great.
Also at the top of the mountain, the what's his name? Mr.
Professor.
Van Damme has a one-liner. He's up there with the professor. This is where something I noticed. I didn't notice this any of the other times when I watched it, but this time I did notice that Van Damme was up there, and I think this is where it also shows that he was one of the spies. I think the only person they were trying to find was Leonard, or trying to get.
No
was
shit?
Leonard.
Really?
Yeah, because he's not handcuffed. He's chilling. He makes a one-liner with the professor.
What's he say?
He's like, "Oh, another bullet. It's much less classy," or whatever the fuck he says. It's something along those lines.
I think he's still the bad guy. I think
I
that
think
they
Why
he's
would
still
he not
under
be
arrest.
they didn't even
handcuffed?
put Roger in handcuffs when they found out he was the murderer.
It just seems weird that he's like chilling,
it does, but I
and
don't
that
know.
he was
There's
just like
no way-
he just like watched them kill the other guy.
There's no way he would be just like chilling up there with no
my
explanation.
Also, other thing is that it's because of the way he looked at Eve when he knew that Leonard wanted to kill her, because he was looking around like he also wanted to stall.
But
Interesting
Leonard wasn't
theory.
going across the border. He was like totally.
Wait, what?
Leonard wasn't going with him. He was staying in America.
Leonard was, but Leonard wanted to kill her. Leonard was the one that wanted to kill her. So the things that led up to that was Van Damme punching him when he first heard it.
But why couldn't they be?
And then in the runway, he's looking around like he is trying to stall and trying to waste time, and he looks antsy, like he doesn't want to kill Eve. And then at the end, he's not handcuffed and he's chilling with the professor.
I think this is a theory.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't looked into it
I'm
or
not-
read about it.
I'm not
This
against-
is me. This is just me thinking this on my third viewing.
if this comes out true as like the true intention, I will not be that surprised. But I personally do not think so.
Right on.
What do you think, Will?
I don't think that Van Damme is in on it, but at the same time, I appreciate your thought process and your theory.
Yeah.
Thanks.
But also, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure. And then, but that ending.
But that would also be fucking dope. It just seems like the kind of thing they wouldn't just like leave up to our imagination, especially Hitchcock, who's so precise in everything he does.
But this movie especially is like layers on layers of people being who they're not supposed to be.
Can we go to the ending now though? Because what the fuck with this ending?
What do you mean? The fucking Eve almost falling to her death
And then
like,
pulling her up into the train car.
Wait. We have to focus on. It's like, Eve, hold on. I can't. Hold on. I can't. Quick, fast zoom onto Thornhill's face. Fast zoom onto Eve's face. A deeper even zoom onto Thornhill's face. And then he goes out to pull, and as he's pulling, smash cut to the fucking train car.
Fucking what the fuck?
It's a great shot.
I loved it.
And then they kiss.
And then also,
and then the end. Like
no,
what?
No. That's not yet it. And then the train goes in the tunnel. The euphemism of them having sex.
Boink. They're fucking boinking.
Yep.
Fine. They go in the tunnel, and then the end. What?
That shit was great.
Like it was. I don't know if I loved it or if I hated it. I'm not gonna lie.
I loved it.
Like I can't tell if I loved it or I hated it.
I mean, it's absurd, and I just think that it plays in super well to the intense pacing of the film.
Yeah.
Because it's
abrupt.
It's a film that's paced incredibly deliberately, but I think that there are long stretches of time where it feels like it's dragging intentionally.
Yeah.
And then it goes very fast, very fast, very fast. And then it's dragging intentionally. Like, the final scene at Mount Rushmore was fucking long.
Yeah.
There were so many shots of
a lot of them
Leonard
climbing.
and Thornhill and Eve climbing.
And the henchman.
And close up, whenchman's name is, Knife Man.
Henchman 1 and 2.
Right. Just climbing up and down the stones. But then, like, as soon as Henchman dies, and it's just Leonard v. Thornhill, like, it accelerates like crazy.
Yeah.
And then it's Leonard dead. Then it's Thornhill v. Rock because he's trying to save Eve. So, for it to be as abrupt as it is, I don't think it's actually as abrupt as it's made to feel.
Mm-hmm.
It seems intentional. And I actually really loved the way it ended.
Yeah, I like the ending.
Despite the fact that it seems insane.
Yeah, it's a really bizarre shot. It's a very unsettling shot.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck?
Like, it really throws you.
I love the cut of him pulling her up off the mountain to him
Into
pulling
the
her
bed.
up into the bunk
Into
bed.
the bunk bed.
It was
that's
wild.
fucking
Throwback
amazing.
to the bunk bed.
It's
Yeah.
amazing. It's an amazing shot.
But it was wild.
And he's like, Mrs. Thornhill. And
Yeah.
they're just like, they
Well,
bone.
did he call her Miss Thornhill?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it also is a throwback to him saying that
remember
he
that.
wanted to be back on a train with her.
Right.
Earlier.
True.
They're married.
By the way,
They're consecrating the marriage.
By the way, the henchman, the knife-throwing henchman's name was Valerian.
Like Valerian in the Valley of Steel or Blade of Steel. What's that fucking movie?
I don't know.
With Dane DeHaan and Cara Delevingne. Let us know in the comments.
My
if you
first
know.
thought
That
was
seems like it would have been after.
It's a Luc Besson film.
my first thought was Valerian Steel from Game of Thrones.
Right
Yeah,
on.
so
Shout out.
Oh, fuck. I can't remember the name.
Um,
Anyway, that's the end of the movie.
Yeah.
I love this movie.
I very much like it.
It was good.
I'm glad you guys still enjoyed it.
I won't say love, but very solid 8 out of 10, maybe 8.5. Cary Grant was fucking amazing.
yeah,
His humor, his timing, his poise, his presence was fantastic. Eva Marie Saint as well was really good. Everybody else was great, but those two deserve special mention.
Yeah.
Pacing was kind of odd for our current standards, but I think given the time it was made, it was really wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
It was a solid shout.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. The overall plot, I did thoroughly enjoy. The beginning kind of was like, why is no one believing him? Kind of annoyed me. And then that last part, I can't tell if I loved or I hated it.
Right on.
It just elicited a strong emotion for me that I am not able to discern at this time.
Nice.
But otherwise,
We'll come back to it maybe.
Yeah.
otherwise, yeah, it was good. I thoroughly enjoyed watching it. Yeah, definitely. I did like it more than Rope. So
Oof.
Cool.
I like rope more.
And I like this one more.
Okay.
Right on.
I'm the outsider. I'm a rope boy.
what was that?
But yeah, guys, thank you for listening, and we'll catch you for the next one.